Oh yeah, it's going down. Y'all know what time it is, man. These guys arguing in the big chat. They say they want some, let me
I
check.
set a fire with that one. Yes, sir. I set a fire with that one, big dog.
Oh, you did? I ain't know what happened, man. I told him, I said, give
I
me a
said
few
Haiti.
seconds.
I said Haiti is trash. Then I was like, nah, I know Haiti good. You know what I mean? But he ain't good enough for Tank.
Oh, okay, the shit. What everybody's trying to say, really. I think 135 hot. I think we need to talk about it and get it on wax outside of just talking about the basic shit. But I think Haney straight, but it's Shakur who I don't really like. I think that nigga really. I think Shakur is really soft. I was looking at Martin today and Davis today. Keyshawn Davis, man. I like Rivera to come back. 35 got some thumpers in it.
Yeah, definitely do. I agree with that.
The smoke, what going on, man? They sound like some people say you talking and you ain't answering questions again, or so I just said, man, let
Yeah,
me see.
man, these dudes asking, is one plus one two? Is one plus one two? How come you didn't answer the question? Man, just go get that shit out of my face, bro. Like, somebody trying to hear that dumb shit. Like, make your point.
So let me ask you this, smoke. What is 1 plus 1?
Exactly. Well, in in the multiverse theory, sometimes one plus one could be three. Like,
No, man. No, no, that ain't what they say. They say you over there not answering questions again, man.
yeah, man, listen. You want me to answer a question? Ask me a question that's worth fucking asking. Like, God damn, dude. Ask me some dumbass shit like that. Like, especially like in the chat. Like, we both be back and forth typing this type of shit. Fuck out of
Yeah,
here.
it was getting real fiery in there, real fiery.
So what's the recap? I don't want to speak for nobody. Cause I was just laying down. I heard that shit going bzz, bzz, and then I said, "What's going on? Let me see what's up, man. Let's see if we can get it out." The 135 is dope. Let's talk about it actually, because a lot of people are not really focusing on it because TO racism, Canelo face of boxing conversations, Tank is I guess the new pay-per-view star him Ryan Garcia at 135. I had no idea. But what's your thoughts, Get the Smoke, man? You seem like you got a lot, but what's your thoughts and your assessment of the 135-pound division?
Um, it is. I think it's getting drained for the glory of 140. Like, really, I think 135 is about to be a ghost town, and 140 is
Yeah,
about to be lit.
I
For
agree with
probably the
that smoke.
first time in like that division's history, it's gonna have like stars and money and notoriety and shit.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think 135 got hot at the wrong time, man, and 140 about to be the fire division. Kind of back when when you had Danny Garcia and Amir Khan real hot at 140.
Man, for 140 been hot a couple of times. You had the Ricky Hatton run with the Timothy
Yeah,
Brown
Rick
run.
Ryan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but they weren't really making no bread like that. Like, bro,
Oh,
Tank
yeah,
just
bread.
pulled a motherfucking $100 million reportedly out of 140-pound division.
Oh, you saying so is Tank going up to 140 or is he at
I
135?
mean, I think he's at, he might have a couple fights up there. Who know?
I
Like, if,
think he
if
should.
we don't know what's gonna happen with Haney, that might be another
Truly,
one, like another
I think
fight
I
above the
thought
135 limit. Like,
honestly, I thought when Tank fought Mario Barrios, I thought he would stay there. He looked really good at that weight. And I
Mm.
think that'll be uh the more I guess the more stronger fights for him. I think he'll have because in 140 that's a whole different weight class. You know what I mean? And like them boys hit a little bit harder than 140, and I think that's where he need to be to really prove to fans that he is who he say he is. You know what I mean? I mean 135, yeah, everybody about to leave that division because they getting too big. They've been sitting there not fighting each other so long with the bullshit, but now everybody about to leave. Only person might stay is Loma. You know what I mean? Because he's small, but the rest of them, like, I just don't see him staying there. And Telfimo already high-tailed it out of there when he lost the title. So you know what I mean. People been wanting to see him match up with a lot of these guys as well. So 140 seemed like the hot division. Honestly, that's really what's
Yeah,
gonna be hot. I see
yeah.
all
I
of
feel like
them.
the Shakur fight is more likely to happen at 140 than 135. It probably is
Yeah.
going to happen at 147, but it's definitely looking more likely at 140 to 135. So
You,
I don't
you
know. It
think
just seems to
Shakur
me
go
like
all the way
all
up
of
to
the.
147?
Say again.
I said, you think Shakur go all the way up to 147?
I mean, for guys that were already at 135, I think he can fight those guys. And at some point, yeah. I mean, he can't, like, there's nobody for him at 135, if assuming Haney beats Loma.
That's
Like, what's
true.
he
You're
got?
right.
It's just a bunch of guys who've been beat
Yeah.
multiple times by other guys.
Yeah,
Like,
you're right about that, though. You're definitely right about that. But I don't know about Shakur at 147, bro. Now 140, I can see him, causing some problems. But at 147, that's a dog division, bro. Like, and them boys hit like trains. I don't know
yeah, I
about
don't. I'm
Shakur
not
at one.
necessarily saying that he's going to like clean out the division or compete everywhere. I'm just saying like there's a couple of fights for him, guys that were like at 135. I think he might be able to catch like a Ryan Garcia fight at 147, kind of shit like that.
Oh yeah. Later on down the road, I can see that. Yeah, I can definitely see that.
Well, I don't know, man. What about Davis and Martin? Rivera still in there? These guys
Yeah.
are currently fighting. Haney is undisputed. We finna
It-
get the whole fight.
The problem with Keyshawn Davis, man, is okay. The problem with Keyshawn Davis is literally it's kind of the same problem that Shakur had. Is the top rank they talk a lot about fighting these guys and not side of the streets and all this other shit, but like usually they only stay on their side of the street. And there's no body at 135 that's worth a damn at 135 pounds of top rank. The only two guys are Shake and Keyshawn Davis, and they won't fight each other. So it's kind of like how are they going to split a division given the inventory at top ranks? Like, how are they going to split the division at all? Like, if given the inventory at the top, like, how are they even if they fought each other, like, what does that do for Shakur if he beats Keyshawn Davis?
I'm trying to figure out why not. They are prime fighters. Davis, Martin, two people. They're two undefeated hot fighters. You talking about a Olympian, silver medalist. You talking about a prospect of the year. You talking about they got the good size.
That's a good fight. It's a good fight. I'm not saying there's not good fights to be had. I'm just saying, like, as far as legacy, like, what has Frank Martin done in the sport that gives you, like, oh yeah, well, Keyshawn beat Frank Martin?
Well, all the veterans of that magnitude that you speaking of, all the ATG wins are retired.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Loma's about to be the last one. Like, if Loma can beat Devin Haney, then the top ranks got some action, right? But if Loma beats him, then it's kind of like, okay. Then it's just Tank. It's Tank and Dev. If you can't get Tank and Dev, all you have is some good fights, some good matchups. Like Frank Martin is a great fight. Like, he's a really exciting fight, and he's then becomes the guy. You maybe have Pitbull Cruz in there that might have an exciting fight for you. But yeah, all you have is like kind of good fights. You don't really have like legacy defining shit.
I mean, you don't got that with nobody. The only person at 135 that's a legacy defining fight is Lomachenko. Everybody else ain't legacy defining. Tank is not a legacy defining fight.
Of course he is.
No, he's not, man.
Of course, Tank is a legacy defining fight.
Why would he be? How would you? First of all, let me define what legacy defining is to me. That means right now, Tank will have to be a Hall of Famer in my book for it to be legacy defining for me. I don't see Tank going into the Hall of Fame as of right now. Does he got potential? Absolutely. Do I like Tank? Absolutely. Is he a Hall of Famer right now? Absolutely not. What do you mean? Only person that potentially could go in the Hall of Fame at 135 right now, based on their accomplishments and accolades, is Lomachenko. Devin Haney's knocking on the door. This would put him closer toward that, and that would make us have two possibilities with Devin Haney and Lomachenko at the conclusion of this fight. But I don't see Tank and none of the rest of these guys, Rivera, Martin, none of these guys, Pitbull Cruz, are going to be in no Hall of Fame as I see it right now. As of today, May the 2nd, 2023, I don't see no Hall of Famers at 135 except Lomachenko.
Right. So for me, if the numbers that they reported for Tank are accurate, he's getting Hall of Fame. He's getting in right now if he never boxes another round. But that's a different thing from even whether or not that's a legacy defining. I think you set the bar a little bit too high for the legacy defining. Like, to me, because Devin Haney, just the same way that Kambosos became a legacy-defining fight for Haney, or the way that Tio was a legacy-defining fight for Kambosos. Like it's just that fight, if it's of a magnitude, and they've accomplished a bunch, like more than anything that you've done in your life, in your career, then that becomes part of your career's legacy. Right, that's what I was meaning more by legacy defining. But even still, I think that Tank is getting in the Hall of Fame. I think he's being a 3-time champion at 130. The way that they're talking about the world titles at WBA, right? So he could be a 3-division champion. He definitely is a 3-time champion at 130. Then also he has a knockout of the year, which maybe Leo gets in the Hall of Fame. I don't know if Leo does or if he doesn't. But he definitely has a knockout of the year over that guy, and who is a 4-division champion. And then he has this like payday that's like like heavyweights basically. I don't know how you're not going to be like it's the Hall of Fame. It's not like it's not like just a bunch of how many killers have you fought and how many divisions you got. Like that's part of it, but part of it is like how the boxing writers talk about you. Like what have you done for the sport? And I don't think you can really talk about the sport really for the last like 6 years without mentioning Tank.
Yeah, and part of the Hall of Fame is also about how much revenue you generate. You know what I mean? Because that's what makes the sport popular, based on how many fans you bring to the sport. You know what I mean? I think Tank has done a great job of bringing a lot of fans, filling the seats. You know what I mean? And that's why I would consider him Hall of Fame at this point, but not because of his accomplishments, because we haven't seen him in there with a real hitter yet. You know what I mean?
To me, Oscar Valdez was legacy defining for Shakur. I don't think Oscar Valdez is getting the Hall of Fame. It's just that happens to be the thing that is for him the biggest like accomplishment of his career so far.
Yeah. So but I agree with you, Zone. You got valid points because of why he wouldn't be Hall of Fame. If that be the case, the only thing, then yeah, I would agree. But I think on the other side, you gotta also go about how you putting the fans in the seats. So
I can't say that Tank is a Hall of Famer right now. That's ridiculous. I can't.
I understand. I respect it though. I see your point is valid.
You don't want it to be true, but that's the world we live in today, man. We're not in Sugar Ray Leonard's time, but I know the killers and do all that shit to get in the Hall. Like
right, we're not in Sugar Ray Leonard's time, but I'm looking at who's going into the Hall of Fame now, and I don't see any room for him to get into there. How many people?
Timothy Bradley?
Yeah, Timothy. What do you mean, Timothy Bradley?
All right. So hold up a second before I go into the Timothy Bradley thing. The room to get in, you have it's who you're going up against, right? And when you retire, right? So who you retire, you have to be retired for 3 years, and then you get shortlisted and you finally get in. Like the guys who are like 28 years old right now, right? I don't know if he retired in the next 2 years, who's around his retirement age, right? We got Canelo. He's not getting in over Canelo. He's not getting over Nonito Donaire. He's not getting in over Loma, I don't think. He's probably not getting over Loma. Who we got?
But
he's probably not getting in over Chocolatito.
Okay, let me answer this for me, Zone. Why would you consider Loma a Hall of Famer at 135? What? Explain your case on why you think Loma will get in the Hall of Fame.
I would consider him more of a Hall of Fame than any of the 135ers that we're talking about.
Okay.
As it compares to the people that we're talking about at 135, that could potentially be all-time great wins based on my standard. And what I'm saying is all-time great standards would be a fight with an all-time great. And for you to be an all-time great, I got to at least see Hall of Fame in your window if you retire right now, whether it be 3 years, 5, 6, or 7. I just don't see anybody of this group getting in the Hall of Fame, but I do see where they can build. I see a lot of undefeated, young, prime, hungry 135-pound fighters that can trailblaze their own legacy. If Devin Haney or just Fighter X at 135, if he beat Martin, Davis, Shakur, Haney, Lomo, get a fight with Tank, beat Tank, Pitbull Cruz. That's a lot of work at 135. They don't have to be Hall of Famers. I'm just saying the crop of talent after it's said and done can turn into a Hall of Fame situation for one or two of those guys. That's how I look at it for me.
But it's like this. Like it's who retired if he never boxed another round, right? So that would be in 2023. Who's retiring this year? That's who we'd be going up against.
So you telling me that they don't consider, like for instance, Shane Mosley's not in the Hall of Fame, right?
Of course he is.
Good, baby?
Of course he is.
When did he get in? What year
he got in eons ago. He's been in.
Shane Mosley, let me look up the Hall of Fame list, man.
Yeah, Shane Mosley's been in.
Let me see something. Because I don't see them putting that many people in.
He's like first ballot. He's like a first ballot guy.
I know Mayweather and Pacquiao just got in.
Did Pacquiao get in?
Yeah,
no, Pacquiao didn't get in yet. Mayweather got in during the pandemic, during that whole big class. Mayweather, Ward, Roy Jones, B-Hop, all those.
Where's in that? Let me see. Boxing. Let me just look at it real quick.
Yeah, mostly been in.
So this year it's got it. They're gonna do it. I'm just going backwards. June the 8th through June the 9th. So let me look at 22. See who was in there.
Like the guy who is up now that everyone's considered is going to get in is like Zab Judah. Like Tim Bradley got in like last year's class.
Okay, so last year, let me get it straight. Okay, notable names: Roy Jones Jr., Miguel Cotto, and James Toney on the men's side, and then Holly Holm. Okay,
yeah, they were second ballot.
Hold on now. Let's see something. I don't see Shane Mosley, but let's go to 21.
No, Mosley, you just go to the International Boxing Hall of Fame. You just look at the inductees.
Because there's okay, looking at it again. Vladimir Klitschko, Floyd Mayweather, Andre Ward, Layla Ali, and Wolf. Yeah, I don't see no Shane Mosley, man. Let me see. 20. I'm looking at the list right here. Now I do know there's an international one and then there's a world one. The international one is easy to get in, 2020. Bernard Hopkins, Juan Manuel Marquez. Okay, there you go. Shane Mosley, 2020. There it is. There you go. Okay, so yeah, he in. Okay. And then Zab Judah hasn't got in yet, have he?
No, that's the one who's probably going to be the 2023 class.
Okay,
they haven't announced the 2023 class yet, or is it 2024 or something? Like whoever is, I think Tim Bradley is in 2022 or 2023. I'm not quite sure which one he's in, but Zab Judah is supposed to be the one after that.
Okay, so Zab Judah's up for it.
Yeah, Zab Judah's up for it right now. So and also like Mikey Garcia, I don't think it's been 3 years since Mikey retired. So I don't think Mikey's eligible yet.
Okay, let me see. Big George, Mark Breland, Smoking Joe Frazier. Because
I didn't even know Mikey retired.
Yeah, Mikey out of here.
What? When did he decide that?
Like either last year or the year before.
Oh, for real?
After the Sandra Martin fight, he retired then.
Oh, wow, that's crazy. I don't know why Mikey retired. He still had a nice little run in him.
Earl beat the man. Earl beat.
Yeah, well,
he turned into Roy. He went from Roy Chief to Gandhi.
His career. Earl did turn it. Earl beat the dog shit out of him. Oh, he smashed that man. That was a bad loss. He should have never took that fight. I told a lot of people that I said Mikey gonna get killed. If he don't get knocked out, he gonna die in the ring.
His career did. He still got another payday after that, fighting Jesse Vargas. But
that's what he should have did. He should have did that.
I gotta look at the list and see who's not on there to say that. I don't know if I see Tank getting in.
I'm just saying that nobody's really retiring that's worth note today. Like let's say Nonito retired, all right. Nonito's gonna get in over him, but I don't think Wilder's retiring now. Fury's retiring. AJ, Usyk, Canelo. Is Maul? I don't think Mel is retiring. Maybe Chocolatito. Yeah, like you need a third guy, right?
What you asking? You saying who do I see retiring in the next 3 years?
No, who retired this year? They would have to retire this year with Tank, right? Like we're saying, if Tank never boxed again, so he retired this year, right? So it'd be who else is retiring this year? Like,
okay, we saying what if? Okay, so if Triple G retired,
okay, so we got Triple G. The Triple G
Canelo.
could retire, but Triple G saying he's not retiring though. He's saying
I
he
got
got to
you. We
fight.
saying hypothetically, Tank ain't retiring either. I'm just going with what you just asked me. What's the question again, so we can get it straight?
Right. So the question is, if Tank was to not fight another round, right? So then to put him up against the guys who actually are talking about retiring this year,
Okay, who's talking
and
about?
that's what I'm not sure about. I think Chocolatito.
Oh well, if nobody's talking about it, then anybody can get it. Then if that's the case, because nobody's talking
Yeah,
about
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's
it.
not like we
Yeah,
have these guys who are at the end of it, like
yeah.
Pacquiao retired last year.
What I'm telling you is, I'm assuming that this is the class, and boxing stops now, right? He was to retire, and I was to compare him.
Oh hell no, he ain't getting into at least like 4 or 5 ballots. It's gonna be a long time before he gets in.
Yeah, that's what I'm
So,
saying. And this, people gonna retire in between that. You still got Fury. You never know what he may do. Wilder. You never know what he may do. AJ is coming towards some type of end, I'm sure. Usyk might be around a little bit more. Him and Tank might come out at the same time. Crawford might come out a little bit before Tank. Earl Spence look like he want to be on his way out the door. Sharon Porter's been sitting for a while. We got to see what they're gonna do with him.
Sean Porter's been gone. Like Sean Porter retired right after the Bud fight.
Right. So he's in there then, right? And then
he'll be in the running for it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
but just not the same year though. Like he's already in the running for it. He retired in 2021.
But I'm just giving you an example of who's around that could potentially usurp that understanding. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't know that. Like so if Tank and Sean Porter are competing for the last Hall of Fame seat, who gets it? I think Tank gets it.
It might be, but I'm just saying at 135, it's plenty of work to be at 135. Y'all say 140 is heating up. I don't know. I gotta look at that a little bit more.
But the reason I say that though, Zone, is because I believe that they not gonna stay there too much longer. You know what I mean? Because
not what potentially could happen. I'm just saying who we got at 135 and based on who we know is at 140
right now.
Yeah.
It's really Frank Martin. It's the Frank Martin sweepstakes because we know it's Loma and Dev kind of who the winner of that. If Loma wins, then it's wide open, right? But if Dev wins, then that degrades Loma's value. And then also Devin probably moves up after that. If he doesn't fight Tank. Now, the winner of Tank and Dev. Oh, wow.
Right. That'll be a legacy to find the fight right there.
I think anybody who fights both of those guys will be legacy to find.
Kind of like Tommy Hearns and Sugar Ray.
Yeah, I think those guys are just legacy defining at this point. Like it's hard to get a ring in a ring with an undisputed champion, right? Or former or whatever. So that's going to be part of your like that. Like whoever the fuck Devin Haney fights now, he's going to have a target on his back. People are going to give their best because they are going to want his scalp on their mantle, right?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
so I also think that Devin Haney really want that fight for his legacy. Like he really want that fight with Tank. So hopefully,
if Tank wins, see the thing is, even if Tank loses, Tank is still the legacy fight at 135. So you still need that Tank set. Like just because Dev beat him, that doesn't mean that Shakur can't get that fight or Frank Martin or whoever the fuck. That's still a legacy defining fight for me at 135. Given what the other people at 135, Jermaine Ortiz, who we got, Marinez, Jackson Marinez. Rivera coming back, like you said. Keyshawn.
Keyshawn Davis.
Yeah. Whomever at 130 might move up.
I don't know, man. I think 35 looking good. I think they just need to mix it up, fight, and keep doing what they're doing. And I think everything will be all right. I can't wait to see this Haney fight in Lomo. That's gonna be good.
Yeah, I think Lomo got a real possibility of getting at him, man. I really do.
You see that fight happening. I know you've been tapping in on that, but we didn't really give too much time to 135. So let's give some to it right now. What you think? What's the breakdown? How you see the division?
I pretty much got Devin Haney like in that fight with Loma. How I see it going, I think Devin Haney is slightly the better boxer, not much. Do I think he's faster? No, I think they're about similar speeds, and I also think that Lomachenko footwork is way better than Devin Haney's. And
Mhm.
I think that's gonna be the problem because that's gonna be like a chess match to me. You know what I mean? Almost like the first person that get to the first spot is gonna be the one who wins. You know, because they both very 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 elusive on their feet. You know what I mean? But I think Lomachenko's skill is much on a higher greater level than Devin Haney, and I think he's gonna reclaim the undisputed. I mean, I think he's going to reclaim the titles. I won't say undisputed because of that weak ass franchise title, but I think he will become the undisputed champ if Devin Haney can't figure out his footwork because his footwork is second to none in boxing. You know what I mean? Him and Usyk training same under the same stable. You know what I mean? So they both got supreme footwork and fast hands and power in both hands too. You know what I mean? I think Loma often gets because he lost to Teofimo Lopez. You know what I mean? But he actually got power. You know what I mean? And we don't watch him stop dudes. You know what I mean? Back to back. So I mean, I just think that that's a dangerous fight for Devin Haney. I think Devin Haney is a good fighter, but he ain't got no pop to keep you up off of him. And I think Lomachenko is like a shark constantly trying to get a bite out the water from different sides of the boat. You know what I mean? Because his footwork is, man, his footwork is crazy. You know what I mean? So I really think this is a dangerous fight, but I will not be surprised if Devin Haney wins. I'm pulling for Haney win because I want the Tank and Haney fight. But if he doesn't, that's gonna bust 135 wide open if Loma beat him. And I think Loma, he could stop it in the 19th round.
What you got? What you got, Smoke? What you think, man? You kind of agree with that, or what's stirring everybody up with your? What's your take? Because everybody's
Yeah.
stirred up about your position.
Yeah. For me, Loma, he is good, and he has unorthodox and like novel footwork. Just like him and Usyk, coming out of the same gym. But I am not. I'm not mesmerized by his footwork any longer. Like it used to be. Um, it used to be so unconventional, like what he did. But now there's been so many years of it. The dude is like really just a rhythm pattern fighter who is from the mid range, just enters and exits the pockets and does a shift off the guy's lead shoulder to work an angle. Like that's really it. Like he's not that good fighting backwards. He's a completely different fighter fighting backwards. He's not really that good a finisher. He's just like a Wentz Ross repeat. Like if he wouldn't be getting them knockouts if guys didn't give up, right? Because he just like disheartened it. Like it's not like once he has a guy hurt, he knows how to get him out of there. That's not Loma's game.
I'm not saying that.
Yeah, no,
But,
I know you're not. He's asking me your thing. I wasn't like knocking your thing. This has absolutely
okay.
nothing to do with your thing. Like I'm just talking about like Loma in general. Like his feet cool. He has really good, nice body attack. He is definitely a dangerous fight for Dev. If Dev, the reason why I think Dev beats him, is that the fact that he is a rhythm stepper. Like his footwork is about rhythm. And he even does a rhythm step, so you know what he's about to do. So he has like tails and shit with his footwork. Then I think Devin, these like young boys at the top level that have been in the division with him have been training to fight him for years. And I don't think that is probably going to come back to bite him in the butt the way that it did with the Tio fight. Like if if you turn with him while he's trying to do that shift off the back, off your lead shoulder, you turn with him, and then he doesn't have that angle anymore. Meet him with a left hook, and the thing is different. I think also like Haney's. I don't think it becomes about if Haney's footwork is better than Loma's. I think his footwork is good enough that he can maintain the distance and offset what Loma does. But if this fight happens at mid range, if it happens mostly at mid range, then I think Haney's gonna have a really hard time getting the judges to give it to him, right? So he has to keep this fight on the outside, and maybe, yeah, he has to keep it on the outside. He might be able to get some work on the. He may be able to get some work on mid. I don't want to see he's doing a whole lot of work close up. in this fight. I think I think Lomachenko's hands are really fast and he throws really excellent combinations from the close up. So like that's the distance where I favor Loma over Devin Haney, but mostly you want to keep that shit long. As long as it keeps it long, then Loma it should be like a 8-4 kind of thing. But if it gets to mid range, then it comes like maybe 7-5, and then if it comes on the end, the closer the fight gets, the more I like favor Loma's chances. Like the closer they get in distance.
Okay. So what you doing, man? What you got everybody? Oh, you got a hot take or something that you want to speak on?
Nah, man. I think he's gonna be. I think he can turn with him. I think he has the feet. I think he's been champing at the bit to fight this guy. I think he knows his style. I think he is going to go in there and put on the demo. I think we're gonna get an 8-4 kind of. I think we're gonna get an 8-4 fight.
Okay.
For Dev.
Dev, I think man, Dev could give us a TKO-ish type stoppage if he press, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen. So I see a card, but I see it more so as a split. Because I could see Lomo getting credit for his activity and his possible enthusiasm within the fight. But I'm kind of along the lines with you. I think I would probably see it 8-4. But I just think what is going to probably be called is a split decision. I think we're going to probably get get one judge with an 8-4 and then a 7-5.
I agree.
Yeah, like a 7-5 for Lomo somehow, some way.
I agree. Yeah.
I think more along the line of a split decision. I think we're
going to like I was saying though, just on a slip up, I think Loma could get him out of there. But on the upside, Haney, I got Haney winning that fight 8-4. No, regular. I got Haney winning that fight. Majority decision 8-4. And then I on the Loma side, I got because this fight is 50-50 for me, but I'm more is towards Haney, you know what I mean? But I also know it's that it factor with Lomachenko. So if Lomachenko win, I think it'll be by stoppage, not by points.
Yeah, MD, SD, I'm not mad at it. But yeah, I think the judges, the high score cards will be 8-4 for yeah, I think it'll be a 115, 113 card. You might get that for Loma. I can see that, but I can also see like 116, 116 for Loma. Right. The other two judges doing 8-4, 7-5.
All right, Wayne, I see you. You the stylistic breakdown guy, man. What's your thoughts on 135 and the potential fight between Lomachenko and Devin Haney and any other fighters at 135? If you could go ahead and speak on it. Maybe just give him opportunity. Maybe he just busy right now. He'll probably jump in. But y'all go ahead and keep cooking. Y'all got the floor.
Yeah, man. Shakur, what I'm starting to see is that Shakur Stevenson he's the next contestant on the top ranked hype train kind of thing, where they don't have a lot of fighters for their guy, and they just start scapegoating everybody else and talking about how their guy's the boogeyman and how he's the best fucking thing and nobody really wants to fight him and all this other dumb shit. And to me, Shakur has, I don't know, I like the kid, but I like him in the ring. Like his personality outside the ring, I'm still trying to get a handle on it. Sometimes he says shit I like, sometimes he doesn't. I'm kind of, I just don't really have a sense of him outside the ring just yet. But inside the ring, I like him a lot. And I think he should get fights. I don't think he will get fights. I think his career has, I don't know. I think there might be some cause for concern given the level of opposition and the inventory at Top Rank and where he is right now in his career. Like he's on the second division, hasn't really had that legacy defining fight. Like you have Oscar Valdez as your legacy defining fight at this point. Then he's talking about not fighting Keyshawn, and Keyshawn doesn't really have a legacy in boxing to speak of. I don't know. I'm a little bit concerned for the guy, really.
I mean, I think personally with Shakur, I think they've sped him up just a little bit too fast. I think he need to stay at where he was, you know what I mean, at 130 and just go ahead and wrap you up some fights there because ain't no reason to speed along. He like the youngest of the bunch besides Devin Haney, right?
No, he is the same as Tio, right? He's 25. And then the other dudes are 24, and Tank's
Oh,
28. Yeah, so he's
okay.
like,
Yeah, okay. I just personally think that he being sped along too fast. I don't think I don't think he ready for the fighter. I think he ready for Haney. I think that'll be a good fight. But as far as Tank, I think Tank just destroys him. You know what I mean? And I just think they trying to push him forward because he was a silver medalist in the Olympics. You know what I mean? And he has washed out, but he ain't really fought nobody worth nothing to me, to be honest. But I think his skill is superior. You know what I mean? I think he's a really, really good boxer. You know what I mean? So I think that's really why they pushing him forward because they want to see if he really what the consensus claim him to be. You know what I mean? But other than that, I think that Shakur is being moved too fast.
Shakur's step ups have been because he couldn't make weight. Like he was supposed to fight Conlon on the way to the Josh Warrington unification, and pandemic happened, and he couldn't make
Yeah,
126 anymore. And then
yeah,
he was supposed to become undisputed at 130, and he lost that on the belt. He lost that against Conceição. And then as soon as he lost it, like the very next day, they're talking about how Devin Haney's ducking him. I'm just like, man, this is sad. Like I don't know what the hell is going on with. I don't know if it's just a bunch of Tank fans talking shit, or like people are trying to like deflect from the fact that Shakur seems to be undisciplined and doesn't really have opposition out there. So now they're trying to shame Devin Haney into a fight with him. But whatever it is, the dude's overrated.
You know what? I agree with you 100%. I like the kid. I like his character. He seems to be a solid player within just the boxing game. I never was impressed with him. His style is very manageable, meaning that I don't see anything dangerous in it. I see a lot of pity pat,
yeah,
nice crispy skills.
yeah,
A lot of gaps in the hooks. A lot of sloppiness with the footwork, but I can see him being slightly athletic to make up for those gaps between the hooks and then the footwork. I like him. I like his character. I do. If he come out victorious, I wouldn't be mad. But he needs some development,
yeah,
and hard growth and development because I believe that he's overhyped too. Smoke. I think that's what is triggering people. And I'm going to be honest with you, man. I thought maybe I was the only one thinking that because I was going to dedicate a video to his overhyped ass as well. But I can't say too much bad things about him like I can with your punk ass boy Earl Spence. But I'm with you, Smoke. I really do. Just looking at it, I really believe that he's overhyped, and I believe he's an easy scalp. I believe that if you want to find someone to get the most bang for your buck, high reward and low risk, we don't want to talk about that. High reward and low risk, I think that is Shakur Stevenson. If I was Davis or Martin, man, or even Rivera or Tank, man, I would definitely advise one of them guys to take the fight because Shakur to me is a knockout highlight, full credit waiting to happen. I just think this is it for him. I don't think he has any success at 140. He definitely don't belong at 147 unless all the crop of 135 move together at 140 and then move together at 147. That's it. And like Boots and Terrence and Spence and Thurman would have to be long gone and probably even Stanionis. That's what I see. So I agree with you in some point, Smoke. I just don't. I'm not impressed by him. I'm impressed by him. I like him, but I'm just not impressed by his physical attributes in the rings.
Well, I'm
I
not,
got
and I'm just not
Shakur
impressed with the
Stevenson.
narrative. So the narrative that people are saying, like the way they're talking about him, that's not what I see. That's really the issue. And then also, it just seems like they're saying this shit because that's all they have is to like try to talk him up because you can't do it in the ring.
Okay, B Talk, what you got? I hear you. You ready to get in?
I got Shakur Stevenson. I got Shakur Stevenson rated where I got him rated at. I got Shakur Stevenson being the best out of all these young guys, from Devin Haney to Frank Martin to Tank Davis. The reason why I got him there, Shakur Stevenson, people say, well, he don't have no power. Well, he started to develop power as he's moving up in these weight classes, as his body fills out a little bit. His body looks like it's filled out a little bit. He is hitting with a more pop than he hit. He's hitting with more pop than he was hitting with last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So he's gonna have plenty of power, and power precision comes with power. And he's a precision puncher. Sometimes power comes with punches, hitting people with punches they don't really see, they don't really anticipate. And Shakur Stevenson is a really great counter puncher. That's what makes him. That's what helps his power out too, because he's a counter puncher. He's a sharp counter puncher. So I have Shakur Stevenson. I don't have him overrated. I don't have him underrated. I have him rated just where I have him at. I think he's the best of these young fighters. I mean, skill wise, defensive wise, array of punches, using his jab, being able to counter. I mean, he can do it all. He got good footwork. He can move backwards. He can come forward. So, I mean, I'm not saying that he's already he's a Hall of Famer or nothing like that. He got a lot of work to do. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of these guys at 135 to 130 to 140, a lot of these guys got a lot of work to do. I mean, who are we going to crown the best out of all these guys right now? Because all these guys got plenty of work. If you name somebody like Devin Haney is undisputed, yes, and I give him all the credit in the world. He went to Australia and got the belts. But Devin Haney still got a lot of work to do. Tank Davis still got a lot of work to do. Frank Martin got work to do. Who else is out? Oh, T.O. got work to do. So the only person that's competing at these weight classes that don't really have a lot of work to do, and I can say he's a Hall of Famer, that's just Lomo. Lomo is the only one I can say out of all these guys, and he's a little bit older than these guys, but he's competing. He's still competing with these guys. He's the only one that don't really have a lot of work to do. These other guys got plenty of work to do before we can start crowning and say who's the best. Now we can say who got the more power, which is Tank Davis. I think Tank Davis got the most power out of all these guys. Now, who got the better boxing skills? I got Shakur Stevenson all day long. I got Shakur Stevenson a step ahead of all these guys as far as boxing skills is concerned. And that to me, that's a combination of defense and being able to punch, and still being a defensive posture. So yeah, I got Shakur Stevenson rated just as he needed to be. He's a
So
really good fighter.
so that's why I say he's overrated. When you say he's rated just where it needs to be because of defensive skills and all these guys, like he has shown he's these skills against featherweights who aren't very good. Like meanwhile, these dudes have been fighting like real lightweights, real super lightweights. Like Tio is about to fight like the former undisputed champ, right? At 140, like he's already been in there with Loma, already beat Loma. Like these guys have been in there showing their skills against high level competition. Meanwhile, he fought a guy who I think is pretty good, and Oscar Valdez. Oscar Valdez is all right, but he
Before
is
Devin
not.
Haney, hold on. Before Devin Haney beat my guy Cambosis, he was being questioned.
Yeah, but you can say that. But right,
Yeah,
the
he was
issue is
being
that.
questioned.
Yeah, but you got to go to some. But you have to. But you said before he's already fought them. That's my whole point. Is we've already seen these guys show that
That's
they've
fine.
Yeah,
got.
but
Hold up a second. Hold up a second.
That's fine.
We've seen these guys.
hold on, B Talk.
We've seen these guys show what they can do in higher divisions. So the idea that you're going to come up from 126 and start beating up guys at 135 who has fought better competition than you, that is the kind of overrated shit I'm talking about.
Okay, so
All right, hold on,
Especially
B
given
Talk.
the way I saw Oscar Valdez
We
throw away.
never seen
No, hold
fighters.
up. I'm gonna land my plane here. Especially the way that I saw Oscar Valdez land straight right after straight right on this dude, and the way I saw Conceição lure this dude in and hit it. Let me finish. I'm gonna land my plane here. I swear. Just let me finish. I know I trigger you, but
Hey,
this is
check it out. Now I will tell you, hey, cause it's probably gonna be Phil gonna want to get in and just Phil, Smoke, and Wayne. Just let Smoke spit it. Go ahead, Smoke.
Yeah. I mean, I'm almost done, bro. Like especially given all those straight rights. I saw actually at one point Oscar Valdez throw 5 straight rights in a row, and them shits landed. And cutting Stacey out, I saw him lure Shakur in with that dumbass fucking left hook over and over again. And as a matter of fact, Shakur got so frustrated in that fight, he got a point taken away. So like, it's just, to me, that's the kind of overrated shit. That's where it becomes overrated for me. Go ahead.
Okay, so
all right, hold up, Wayne. Let me
Wayne. I asked you. I let you have the floor.
Just let him have it, man. Okay,
Yeah. All right. So look, I'm gonna be quick though, because I know you want to cook on this, Wayne. Man, this is my deal right here, right? So, Smoke, I understand what you're saying, but this is the fact of the matter right here. Your rating of the fighters that Shakur fought, I mean, it's not a rating at all. I mean, because at the end of the day, the guys that Shakur fought within his division were accomplished guys within the division. You only can fight who's in front of you. And because you don't think the guys are very good, really serves no factual purpose at all. You understand what I'm saying? The truth of the matter is Shakur pretty much has handled his business in every division that he's been in. He's coming to 135, and he's saying, look, I want Haney. I want Lomachenko. I want all these guys that y'all saying are these top guys. I want to fight them. So this is my deal. All this kid has been doing since he became an Olympian is whooping ass. You understand what I'm saying? So for somebody to say that he's overrated and all he's been doing is whooping ass and handling his business in each weight division that he's going into, I don't understand how that could be overrated. Obviously, he is in a new division. Okay. Everybody know Haney got all the straps. Okay. With that being said, yeah, he's like, okay, let me get in there with Haney. Fuck Lomachenko. Fight me. I understand. I get why y'all going the Lomachenko route, but you know Lomachenko can't fuck with me, so you need to be fighting me. I'm the better fighter. Lomachenko, he done been there. His time in past. It's on me. The young guys is up, and I'm in the division, and I want to see what's up. Go holler at Bob. Okay, we on the same promotional team, and let's see if we can make the fight happen. Obviously, you're not going to pass up a chance to fight Lomachenko. I mean, I get it. But at the same time, I don't think Shakur Stevenson ducking no smoke from nobody. And for the naysayers, that's like, oh, he's overrated like guys like Smoke. I mean, what more can you ask for a guy than to come into the division saying, man, I don't give a fuck. Whoever y'all think the best person that's available, give me him next as long as he don't got to fight. Because this is what this kid is saying. Like, I can't say somebody's overrated if, for one, all they've been doing is kicking ass, bro. That's all they've been doing. That's all they've been doing, bro. And then you match that with the statistical analysis, then you can say, okay, well, maybe this kid got something on him. And then you're going to always have your people that say, well, I don't like his level of competition. I mean, that's fine, but to me, that's just the cop-out because nigga, you can say that shit about any fucking fighter. Oh, I can say, I don't like Canelo's level of competition. I don't like Muhammad Ali's level of competition or Floyd or Manny Pacquiao. To me, that's just bullshit because that ain't nothing but one motherfucker giving his opinion about the level of competition that the person fought against. I mean, at the end of the day, man, we got to hold these guys to some kind of merit and stop inserting so many fucking opinions in on their career. The facts of the matter is, since this boy's been an Olympian, he's been whooping fucking ass, and he's in a new division, and he's trying to establish himself in that division against credible guys. That's all I'm saying. It's no different than fucking T.O. moving up, getting the Josh Taylor fight, or when Crawford came into 147, smashed Jeff Horn, and it's been fucking downhill ever since then, been smashing every motherfucker they put in front of him. Bro, you gotta get that shot. So look, at the end of the day, bro, I think Shakur Stevenson is by far the best and most talented guy within the division right now. I have him. I have his skill level, his ring IQ. and his boxing ability, like Wayne broke down earlier, offensive, defensive, fighting off the back foot, changing levels. I got him being the best boxer within the division right now. That's just my own personal opinion, and that has come from my assessment of him whooping motherfucking ass for several years now. So overrated? Nah. Like Wayne said, no, I got him rated exactly what he's supposed to be at. He needs to prove himself against the guys at 135, and I think he has the skills to do it. That's just the truth of the matter. I'm done with the shit.
Yeah, so yeah, that's a good opinion to have, man, because it's yours. But I just ain't seen nothing yet at lightweight, and I'm interested in the lightweight division as a whole, and I think he's a good addition to it. But me putting my prediction down on his performance and what he may or may not be is going to be based on what I've seen from the lower divisions and just his overall skill set. It depends on what you're looking for. If you like what he does, then I mean it's easy to say anybody's a good something. It's just what you like to see. Just as well as it's good to say somebody's not good. And I'm just happy to be on the I'm not impressed side. I'm happy to be on the he's overhyped to me side. And he can prove me wrong. That's why we make the fights, and that's why we all individuals, so we can get a goddamn different result. So we need to be pushing for these fights, and we do need to highlight 135 and give them the attention that they deserve. So maybe these guys will listen to us, and maybe we can influence them to give us the fights rather sooner than later. So I'm down with it. I like it because 135 need to be cleaned up, and it looks good. Devin Haney is undisputed, but there's a lot of work at 135, and try to keep these guys down there versus swinging back and forth between these weight stipulated contracts between 140 something and 135. But if these guys were to all stay at 135 as it is as today, the rankings and the people that are in it as of today, I think that I would have Martin and Davis pretty much beat them. I don't think anybody that I feel that is good, like the Pitbull Crews, the Lomachenkos, the Devin Haneys, I think I got Shakur Stevenson at the bottom of that. I'm comparing his hype up there with those guys versus who I actually think can win based on what I believe. Because nobody's seen anything yet, right? We just doing hypotheticals. That's why we do YouTube videos. So in a hypothetical situation, the hype that people are talking about and the skills that they see, I don't see it. And I can't wait to see what happens when he go against the top tier guys. I think Tank stops him easily. I think Devin Haney outboxes him. I think Davis and Martin whoops him. I just don't see anybody that he can really fuck with within the division.
Yeah.
Okay,
For me, if somebody else want to go, yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I'll go. All right, cool. Shakur, you could say that he fought Oscar Valdez and and Jamel Herring that represents the best in the division, but Joet Gonzalez did not represent the best of 126. Like the idea that Shakur fought the best guys in his division is more of the overhype of Shakur Stevenson that I'm talking about. And just to be clear, most of his career took place at 126. He had like a few fights at 130. And those guys that he fought at 130, they're cool. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that they're like bad guys or anything like that. I'm just saying that to me, it sounds overrated to say that now he's the class at 135 based on what we've seen against the guys we've seen him against. And the performance that he put in against those guys. Smaller guys, not as good guys, all that shit. Like Nakatani and Nakathelia putting that right hand on him, Conceição putting that left hook on him, Valdez putting that straight right on him, getting points deducted. Like, I just don't, like, to me, that's where the whole thing is like, why can't we let that dude prove it? Why do we have to project him over these other guys who have been doing it against, like, higher level competition and getting the same kind of W's? It's not like they've been going through, like, tough fights and all this shit.
Okay,
They're
so
way bigger.
Can I go?
All that shit.
Can I go?
So you can talk. He good, I guess. Right? You good, Smoke, right?
Yeah.
It's back on you, Wayne. Talk.
Okay, so it's not ridiculous to project him over anyone. Projection is only me looking at him fight and saying who I think he can beat. Now, who he's over in the division when he comes into the division is a different question. I cannot put him above Devin Haney because Devin Haney is undisputed. But I can project and say I think he can beat Devin Haney because that's a different story. So when I talk about Shakur Stevenson, I talk about him in a range that who I think he can beat. I think he can beat all these guys. Now, who do I put him over is a different question because that comes with accolades and that comes from who you beat on your resume. I'm not saying Shakur Stevenson is the best at 135 based on accolades or nothing like that. I'm just saying I think he can beat Devin Haney. I think he's a better boxer than Devin Haney. I've seen them, and I'm not putting everything into it, but I have seen them spar. And those guys was young guys. One thing about sparring between veteran guys and young guys always trying to prove something against each other. If you put two young guys in the ring and say, go ahead and spar, they're going to actually go in there and try to compete as far as trying to get one up on each other. It's kind of different when you put veterans in there because veterans always try to work on things. But when I seen them spar and I seen how Shakur Stevenson was able to lead Devin Haney around the ring like a puppy dog and counter that man countless of times, I seen some things in that sparring match to tell me that, yeah, Shakur Stevenson, if they fight, Shakur Stevenson going to be able to put some work in. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but I'm saying I believe he's going to be able to put some work in. Now, as far as saying projections, that you just said a projection, yeah, I can project that he's going to beat those guys. I'm not saying that I'm not overhyping Shakur Stevenson in the fact of saying that I think Shakur Stevenson is a Hall of Famer right now. I think Shakur Stevenson is, you know what I'm saying? I think he can go to 147 and beat a Terrence Crawford. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, as these guys right now are in the same type of group, and would you say that he got cool little wins? Devin Haney got the reason why the Kambosos fight was so big is because Kambosos had all the belts. But Devin Haney hasn't really beat anybody outside of Kambosos. They're gonna tell me I gotta open up my eyes and say, oh, he beat that guy. No, he got one really good win, and that's Kambosos. When you look at Devin Haney, not when you look at Devin Haney, when you look at Gervonta Davis, Tank Davis, you could say, well, yeah, he got my Mexican guy. If you want to talk about somebody big and small, I believe he was a little bit bigger than him when he fought him. But hey, when you make the weight, you make the weight. So I'm not gonna even get into that big and small thing because when you make the weight, you make the weight. But like I said, Tank Davis, he really don't have these really big eye-popping wins as far as names besides that name. If you want to say Ryan Garcia is a good name, so that was a great victory. But he's not like head and shoulders above everybody else's resume. When you look at Frank Martin's resume is not head and shoulders above everybody's resume. T.O. got the best resume out of these three. You know what I'm saying? When you want to put Comey in there, you want to put Nakatani in there, you want to put Loma in there. So probably out of these young guys, T.O. probably got the best resume. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, man, all these guys got a lot of work to put in. I just got Shakur Stevenson more skillful, and I got Shakur Stevenson. If I want to project anybody to beat anybody, I got Shakur Stevenson until proven otherwise. It's just a projection.
Smoke. It's on field, man. Because let man.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, go ahead, Phil.
Nah, I got you.
That way, so people can hear the video clear, so they can really hear y'all. Because like I get messages and they like when y'all really cook and they be liking y'all points. And when y'all do that, sometimes it be fun for us, but people be like, "Well, that ain't hear what he said." So that's why I say that. That's all.
Yeah, no, man. This the deal, man. Just like I said, and earlier, I don't know why Smoke took my portion of what I said about Shakur Stevenson, and he kind of went totally left. But if you were paying attention, I'm gonna just reiterate what I said earlier. I don't think a guy who's all he's been doing is whooping ass since he's been boxing can be essentially overrated. I don't think nobody's saying that he's the best fighter in the world. I have yet to hear somebody say he's number one pound for pound. he's number fucking 5 pound for pound or 3 pound for pound. I haven't came across those forums yet. I mean, maybe they exist, but I haven't heard them personally. I think that Shakur Stevenson is a guy that is at a new division, 135. And truth of the matter is, 135 really hasn't had a lot of separation. Obviously, we know Haney is the king right now because he holds all the 4 straps. But if you want to be quite blunt about it, people have Devin Haney potentially losing to quite a few people within the division, right? So my deal is just right here. Shakur Stevenson is trying to establish himself, like I said earlier, Smoke, is trying to establish himself at 135, and he's doing that by trying to get the fights with the guys that have the big names and quote unquote are the best in the division. Okay. So for me, who's somebody who's assessing Shakur, I just put 2 + 2 is 4. You've been whooping ass. Okay. You're in a new division. You understand that this is not your division, not yet. So yeah, you gotta work your way into it, right? We all get the politics of boxing, but in the meantime, you still can want to fight these top guys. Zone been telling us all day, it's a shit ton of work at 135. I agree. It's enough work around that motherfucker. If you can't get Haney, you can't get Lomachenko, if you can't get Tank, you still got motherfuckers like Pitbull Cruz, Frank Martin. It's just a bunch of work down there. You still got Kambosos hanging around there. So, bro, it's plenty of work at 135. And I think Shakur has gotten into the division, and I think he wants to establish himself by being one of the best, like he's done his whole career. So, I mean, at the end of the day, whether you think he's overrated or not, I mean, shit, documentation be conversation all day. All these guys need to really fucking get their shit together at 135. Because it is one of those divisions where people really don't know who's the best. And that's all I'm saying. And because we don't know who's the best, these guys need to fight one another. So my assessment in a round robin is I like Shakur. Okay? I think he's good. All right? I think he can box. I just think that he needs the fights to prove himself, just like most of these guys need the fights to prove themselves. Outside of Haney, because he's got the 4 straps. You got to show him love on that, no matter how you got him. That's all I'm saying, bro. I think he's rated right where he needs to be when I speak about Shakur Stevenson. See, what we have a problem doing on YouTube is we take certain shit from this channel up the road, that channel around the block, and then you want to come insert that shit into somebody else's shit. Now, take me for what the fuck I'm saying about Shakur, which is, to me, heavily based on facts and including some of my opinions when I say that, hey, I think he's going to be victorious over the other guys in the division. But everything else is shit, man. He's been kicking ass for a while now. We cannot deny that. I yield.
I'm with Phil. I disagree with Phil in Boxing Talk about the outcome and the projection of Shakur Stevenson, but I think we are in alignment with one. I agree with Phil that he said a good point. Take me for what I'm saying. Don't come from another channel or another chat and bring those same tired bullshit arguments over here, because we take everything from face value over here. We say different things, and some of it may sound the same, and it's different combinations because we all got different opinions. I like when Phil says in a round robin, and I agree with Boxing Talk. I don't think anybody's suggesting that we're accusing Shakur fans or the people who would pick him in a round robin of being the best back based on accolades. I don't think anybody's doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm saying hands for hands, who you got at 135, because there's a lot of work. What do you think? We know Haney's the man. That's not really a conversation. But if you were to put him in a round robin, I'm saying I got Tank stopping all of them. And then if I was to go down from there, the reason I get to Shakur Stevenson being overhyped is because when I line the guys up that are good and I round robin, and I was to say who's going to come out number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I think based on the hype and the projection of what people say they think Shakur Stevenson would do, for those who think he would come out on top, I'm saying he's overrated in that regard. I think he'll finish at the bottom.
Can I get in here?
Yeah,
Is it my turn? All right.
So you slide, you got it.
All right, cool. Right. I think this entire conversation, just because I think that either we're talking past each other or I'm just getting straw man real bad here. This conversation has never been about whether or not Shakur is being considered the best in the world or pound for pound number one. We've never said this. I don't know why this got injected like this is like I'm saying that this is what you guys are saying. We've only been talking about who is the cream of the crop of these young guys. And I was talking about how these young guys at this point, like the Tank, the T.O., the Dev, and Shakur, right? I think that's the good young guy. I thought these are the guys that we're talking about. And within this kind of thing, this is where I'm saying the overrated comes in, is when, Phil, you said something like he's fought the best in the division. You could maybe make that argument at 130, sure. You cannot say that about 126. No way. That's what I was saying. You can switch that to he's been whooping ass, but that's cool. And nobody said he wasn't whooping ass. We're talking about the kind of ass he's whooping and using that ass to project him over guys who have been whooping better ass. That's just to just put it in a nutshell of where I think you and I are having a disconnect, right? Like, I don't think that he fought the best guys at 126. And I also think that's where a lot of the narrative about how good he is came from. I think that's where that whole stat about him coming, like being the best defensive fighter in boxing, that came from his days at 126. I don't think it's an accurate snapshot of like his actual boxing skills. That's my issue. I see that he has abilities. The issue is projecting those abilities over these other guys who I think have been facing at least as good of competition, if not better. To go back to something that Wayne was saying, he's like, Devin Haney only has one cool win. I don't think that Devin Haney has only one cool win. I think Linares is a cool win. I think Jojo Diaz is a cool win. I think Gamboa is a cool win, even though Gamboa is severely fucking faded at that point. But and even as faded as Gamboa was at that point, that might be the same to me as that Joet Gonzalez, vacant title win at 126. And that I'm only doing it as a comparison thing and as a comparison to make the projection. That's where I'm where the what if I think like I would pick Shakur Stevenson to beat Lomachenko, totally. But the overrated thing comes from the idea that Devin Haney should fight Shakur instead of Lomachenko just because I think Shakur beats Lomachenko. That kind of shit. Like, you have one guy who's a Hall of Famer and everybody knows that fight was about to get made. And instead of like taking that instead of talking about that reality, they go into their own projection saying, hey, Shakur is better than Loma, and then start talking about how Devin Haney is like somehow deficient for not fighting Shakur instead of Loma. That is the kind
of stuff. Did anybody say that, Smoke?
Say again? Yes, a lot.
I was asking, I'm asking, did anybody on the chat say that he should take the Loma, the Devin?
I mean, one of the reasons why we were getting into that, like,
I mean, did anybody on the chat say that?
That's what I'm trying to tell you. One of the reasons why.
No, hold on, just listen to my question.
I'm trying to answer your question. I can answer your question.
No, but you don't know my question though.
Did anybody in the chat say what I just said?
You don't know. No, my question is this right here. Did anybody on the panel say that Devin needs to fight Shakur over Lomachenko? Because I haven't heard that. I'm just curious.
So now you don't want to know if it's the channel, you don't want to know if it's the chat, it's the panel. Well, I'm going to answer you this way. I was in the thread that inspired this live, and I don't know who that was. So I don't know if it's a panel member or not a panel member. But yes, somebody in the chat that started this thing was talking about how he should fight Shakur instead of Loma. Even you were talking about the quality of the Shakur fight over the Loma fight. This is part of now the Shakur narrative.
That's not what I said, though.
I know it's not what you said.
You're going to take the Lomachenko
bro, I was like, you interrupted me to start asking me questions, and now you want to talk about the difference between what I said and what you said. All I'm saying is that you brought up the quality of opposition between Shakur and Loma. And I didn't say that you said that he should fight Shakur instead of Loma. That's not what I just said. So if I can get through my thing without like having to clarify all of this other stuff, right? I'm just saying the narrative around Shakur Stevenson seems to be overrating this dude. Like at a certain point, yes, you think he beats these guys. That's cool that you think he beats these guys. That does not preclude the Lomachenko fight. We don't need to start talking about how good Shakur could be versus Loma, so that to like try to hype up fucking Shakur over Dev. Like let these guys, let Shakur fight the hell who he's gonna fight, and let us see whether or not he deserves to be in this projection versus just like saying, oh, well, he fought all the best guys, or he's been kicking ass his whole career. Therefore, I see the skills and project him over. To me, that is the kind of stuff that is the recipe, like the ingredients for overrating a guy.
Okay, so listen, let me Phil go get to respond to that. Now let me just check with Zoe Money real quick. And Cisco, I see you in here. We're gonna let you really cook. So please have something to say. Don't get goddamn frozen up when I say it's your turn, then all of a sudden you don't say that. Then Phil start talking, then you want to say something. Zoe, you got anything before I pass this thing to Big Cisco the kid, man?
Nah, y'all gonna fire, man. Y'all cooking. Go ahead.
He is, ain't it? They is. So I just want to make sure Cisco, what's up, man? Welcome to the chat, man. What's up?
Oh shit, what's good, Zone, bro? Oh man, nah, I just hearing the topic, hearing what you guys were saying about Shakur. I mean, I do think he's a great fighter, but I think he still needs a few more fights at 135 for like people like Max Kellerman saying he like people like Tank is avoiding Shakur and everything. I don't think that holds much weight because you could judge fighters off the competition, the people they fight. And I'm gonna be real. Does Oscar Valdez beat Isaac Cruz? In my eyes, no. You know what I'm saying? So I don't like Shakur. He's good. He's a young prospect. You know what I'm saying? And he's willing to fight, but I think he get a couple more fights, before you just go up against the big dogs. I mean, sparring. A lot of people like to compare the Devin Haney sparring with Shakur sparring, but a big part of that sparring is you still got headgear on. You know what I'm saying? You still got protective gear on. So I don't take too much into consideration of sparring and everything. I wouldn't say he's overrated. He did do his job at 130, but this is 135. You know what I'm saying? This is a whole nother ball game. This it's not just the way you win fights, it's how you win the fights. Are you destroying these guys? Are you stopping them, TKOing them, KOing them? Are you outboxing them but putting a beating on them? Not just like people said, pop shy and running around the ring. You know what I'm saying? Like to me, Shakur, he just still needs a few more fights against step up in the competition he has faced, and then we could talk a little bit more about Shakur's skills and everything. Other than that, I don't see too much because there's a lot of people who can keep up the pace with Shakur. At 130, Shakur had the faster feet at 130. Here at 135, he's not. He doesn't have the fastest feet. So I just, like you said, in a round robin, I have Tank, like we all have our favorite fighter, you know what I'm saying? And everybody's going to say, oh, Devin could be everybody, or I'm going to say Tank could be everybody, but these are just our opinions. We haven't seen these guys in the ring yet. You know what I'm saying? But
absolutely. Wayne, talk. It was on you before you dropped off. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say this. When you say someone is overrated, then you have to speak to the individual, because if you're just gonna say he's overrated as a blanket statement, then okay, somebody else outside of talking to us, they can overrate. They can overrate him in your mind, and you can say, well, he's overrated. But if you're talking to me, I got Shakur Stevenson rated. I don't have him overrated. He's not overrated I don't have him overrated or underrated. I have him just about where I think he needs to be. He's past a prospect because he's been a champion, so he's not a prospect anymore. He's a championship level fighter. You know what I'm saying? He did his thing at 126. He did his thing at 130, 135. This is what these guys do. Most guys travel up and weight. They fight and see how they do as far as traveling up and weight. Shakur Stevenson, I just like his whole package. The man has everything except for one knockout punch power, which a lot of the guys in this division don't have. The only one that can probably claim that is Tank. Nobody else at 135 can claim that they get a punch like Tank. None of these guys got a punch like Tank. So are we gonna access Shakur Stevenson power to Tank power? Then yeah, you're gonna come up short. But if we assess Shakur Stevenson power versus all these other guys at 135, Shakur Stevenson is right there. If we're gonna assess Shakur Stevenson boxing ability among all these guys, I got Shakur Stevenson number one. You know what I'm saying? If we're gonna assess defense, a defensive fighter, all these guys get hit. Everybody get hit. I don't know no fighter that doesn't get hit. Everybody's gonna get hit. So we can get that out of our mind. But copy box wise, Shakur Stevenson, defensive wise, he's above these guys. According to the guy that get hit in versus getting hit and not getting hit. He's number one in that category. Would it change as he start fighting these better fighters? It's going to change, because when you start fighting better fighters, they're going to find a way. They're going to find ways to hit you. So of course it might change. We never know until he gets in the ring with these guys. But like I said, man, Shakur Stevenson is the guy to me. Like Phil said, if you put him in a round robin, I got Shakur Stevenson coming on top. I remember when Andre Ward entered the Super Six, and everybody was talking about Andre Ward don't have enough power. He did, he that. And he ended up coming out on top in that Super Six. So you don't have to have power to come out on top. You got to have boxing skills. Now, having power is a luxury, but you have to be able to box, and you have to be able to hit and not get hit. You have to be able to counter other guys too. So to me, Shakur Stevenson got the whole package to come out of that round robin. I yield the floor to someone else.
All right, I just wanted to check. In that Super 6 tournament, nobody was known for power at 168. None of them guys was vicious knockout artists, and no one could compare to Tank as far as explosive power.
Arthur Abraham
was a 160-pounder that no. Go ahead, Phil. You got the floor.
Yeah, man. Just to reiterate, man, what I've been, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but fuck it. That's what I do. This is my deal right here, man. Nobody is sitting here saying that he should have took nobody. See, this is the thing that I don't like right here, right? I cannot compare the level of opposition at a motherfucker fighting at 126 to the level of opposition at a motherfucker fighting at 135. That's just ridiculous. Like, I don't know why people do that. Oh, the guys that he fought at 136 they're okay, but they're not as good as the level of competition that the guy is fighting at 135. That's two fucking divisions. And even if you want to go 130, that's still one division. Like, so this is my deal right here. I'm not into to comparing the level of opposition. I mean, I'm more kind of a results guy. Either you get the win or you don't. You understand what I'm saying? Or you get the draw, whatever the case may be with the outcome. So my deal is just right here. Whatever you go into comparing who you think is better, I think that just kind of murks up the water. That's just because you can be in a room with 1,000 different people and you might get 1,000 different opinions. You understand what I'm saying? And obviously this is a forum where we do give a lot of opinions, but for me personally, I would like to stick to a little bit of fact. You understand what I'm saying? And you beat the guys that are in front of you. Shakur has done it. Tank has done it. Haney has done it. You understand what I'm saying? These are all undefeated guys. So obviously, like I've been saying, man, I'm not finna compare these guys' work at different weight classes because that's just ridiculous. But Shakur is in a new weight class. Okay, as I stated before, it's not his weight class. Right now, Devin Haney, he owns that. He's the king of that weight class because he has all the belts. You understand what I'm saying? And then I can make an argument that he's fighting the next guy that I would say have more claim to the weight division other than anybody else within the division, which is Lomachenko, right? Because he's done a lot of work there. Based on, again, what Shakur has done up until this point, again, I'm not finna sit here and say I'm overrating him. I only can speak for myself. I mean, at the end of the day, my man Wayne talked and already broke down skill for skill analysis. I think he has the best skill set. I agree with Wayne talk. You understand what I'm saying? Do I think Tank has a special skill set? Yeah, Tank has that same kind of skill set that is just one of those things to where you don't know if you ever want to bet against him because his power is that serious. You understand what I'm saying? You know, he has a piece of the pie or the puzzle that none of these other guys have, and that's devastating power, right? And I do think Tank is very athletic. I think he moves very well. I think Devin is more so. To me, he's a basic fighter. You know, he just does. He's basic, but he's the elite side of basic fighter. He's a technical fighter, which I love technical fighters. You understand what I'm saying? He's going to jab. He's not going to put himself in too much trouble. He's going to throw that lead hand. He's going to go to the body. He's going to change levels, and he's got pretty decent footwork. You know, that's worked out for him so far. You understand what I'm saying? All these guys possess skills that I think are good depending on who you fight. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know if Haney can implement those things against a guy like Tank, right? And I don't know if Tank can implement his skill set against a guy like Shakur. So again, this is a division where all these guys need to fight one another, okay? I don't think any of these guys are essentially being overrated. You know, I think if you got Haney coming off on top, you have a legitimate claim. If you have Tank coming off on top, you have a legitimate claim. I think if you have Shakur coming up on top, I think you have a legitimate claim. So, I mean, look, at the end of the day, Shakur is the newest guy to the bunch. I get it. These guys have been putting in that work at 35 for a while now. I understand. So yeah, he's got to get his feet a little bit more wet. He got his feet in there. Now he's finna put them calves off in there. Then we're gonna put the whole body in that thing, man. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna be swimming in the division. So look, bro, I think he's rated right where he needs to be, just like all these guys are. That's all I'm saying, man. So whatever somebody else said on a different channel, just leave that shit over there, fam. That's all I'm saying. Let's see what these guys gonna do.
I don't know where this whole thing about another channels come from outside of like where people are pulling stuff from other channels, but whatever. For me, like if I'm just rating it, if I'm projecting who I think wins a fight, like for me is when it comes to Shakur and Devin, they both really are just outboxers. Like you know, they use distance, so it's just which one can implement. Like Devin as the rangier, bigger guy, I think he has that kind of advantage just physically and also stylistically, right? So then it says, how does he break the gap? Do I think like the way the way that Shakur grapple, the way he deals with inside fighting, right? I think Conceição was able to frustrate him to the point where he got a point taken away. I think Devin is harder to deal with than Conceição in these clinches, right? I don't know. It's just to me when I look at it, and Wayne, he brought up, somebody on the panel brought up something that I was talking about when I was saying like the way that I felt like he was overrated before anybody came and started giving their projections of fights and all this stuff. Because I was really just talking about the way that he is his being perceived and talked about, right? And it was that stat about him being the lowest defensive, the lowest hit guy, and that was the kind of stuff I was saying. Like to me, that is a product. And Wayne just said, so I think he said it outright, or maybe I'm using a different language, but yeah, that those kinds of stats are a product and or at least it has a bearing on who you fought, right? Like that is the kind of thing. As you step up your level of competition, I think it was what he was talking about, is that number might change. And that is the thing. Like when people are using stats like that for their projection about the fight, that's where it a little bit falls down for me. That's where the disconnect comes. But it's really just not that I don't think Shakur can beat Haney. It's just that I got Haney beating Shakur because of the way they go about doing their business. I think it favors actually Devin Haney because he's a Ranger guy. He is fast enough. He's strong enough. He's smart enough, and he's big enough to win that outboxing game. For 7 rounds. For on 2 judges scorecards, kind of stuff. It's more. It becomes like that when it's Devin and Shakur. The way I think about the fight, but when it comes to Tank and Dev, it's literally if Dev stays on his feet, I think he wins that fight. Right? This is kind of one of those things where I think it is highly unlikely that Devin knocks out Tank, and I think it's highly unlikely that Tank outboxes Dev.
Cisco, you got something to add to it? Then we'll slide to Wayne talk again. Cisco?
Yeah, I could see Tank outboxing Dev. You know what I'm saying? He worked his way on the inside, like you said. Their dude's good at distance. Tank specializes in closing distance. You know what I'm saying? So I could see Tank outboxing Dev, getting in close. You know what I'm saying? Like taking away his jab. That's not the hardest punch to take away. For the Shakur topic, I'm gonna just say like pretty much. I mean, when I watched that sparring, I didn't see no clear cut winner in that sparring match versus Shakur and Devin Haney. It was nobody like seriously pulling away. So, and that's when these guys was teenagers. You know what I'm saying? They're 25 now, 24 years old. Their skills are way up par. They're way stronger now. You know, they're coming into their body and everything. So they're filling out. I would never say a boxer is overrated when he's on he's undefeated, he's a world champion. Nah, people got their opinion of him because he earned it. It's not like he just, one night, he just popped up on the scene just with hype and he hasn't put in the footwork. So I respect Shakur, but just I wouldn't say he's put on that that boxing clinic. We haven't seen him school nobody like Mayweather versus Canelo. You know what I'm saying? We haven't seen that type of boxing skills yet. So I wouldn't put him on that level like he's just this great of a boxer. But Shakur is a good boxer. He's very talented, but it's just a little too early for me.
All right, I'm gonna slice this in here. We're gonna open it up at the Wayne talk, get it out, because I think everybody know what everybody's saying on the panel. I think that's enough data for everybody to have clearly heard everybody speak their piece, and now we can goddamn open this shit up and really have a conversation. I kind of like what Smoke is saying. I agree with Phil on the fact that why would we compare the resume at a different weight class in the opponents to 135, which is a new weight class, to render a judgment on Shakur Stevenson or any boxer that's going on that path. But I also don't like when people compare his stats attained in the lower weight classes to project that in the new weight classes. See, that's what I don't like. See, I don't like to do neither one of them. So I'm not worried about who he fought down at the lower weight classes and comparing to who he fought at 135 for me. I'm also not worried about that plus minus ratio shit because that ain't got nothing to do with 135. And if you take that away, I still don't see anything that suggests that Shakur Stevenson is that good in a round robin. Tank is not just power. We're making this assessment of 135, and we kind of saying Tank is just a power, like almost like, well, that's the saving grace. No, if you take his power away, I think he got the highest IQ at 135. I don't think it's Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson. I don't think the highest IQ is always with the motherfucker who don't have power. I believe this is a situation where the highest IQ in the goddamn ring is with the guy who got the biggest punch in the goddamn game. This ain't Deontay Wilder, where he's powerful but no IQ. Just as a point of reference, this guy Tank has the highest IQ, the biggest punch to the body into the head. He's never winded. The dude gets stronger as the fight go on. The dude got a chin. I ain't really just seen the guy really fucked up in the ring, and I just don't see what anybody can do to break Tank. That he's literally a tank. It ain't none of them no F-16 type fighter. None of these guys are that kind of explosive, dynamic, rangy, but powerful, fast, long, body head, and they can give Tank nuke for nuke. I'm not seeing these guys viciously stop people to the body and to the head and keep in range and counter punching and got a chin. I don't see that from these guys. I don't see anything that nobody at 135 can exploit from Tank Davis as it stands today. But I see everything in these fighters that Tank can exploit. Head punching, power, body punching, power, soft power, advantage, and everybody talking about this, but his speed, he's faster than them motherfuckers. Like, everybody keep talking like Tank ain't fast. I think Tank is the fastest one in the division. All right, Wayne, talk. It's on you. Go ahead. We open it up at that.
No, open it up.
Hey, I agree, Zone, 100%.
Yeah, for me, when it comes to the IQ, I think all of them. I don't know. I think all of them are about the same, right? I don't think the IQ difference is going to be I don't think boxing IQ is going to be the difference in this fight. I don't think it'll be like, aha, I got you because I'm smarter than you in here. Maybe, but I as far as like the outboxing, the Tank's ability to outbox guys, for me, he's just fought guys who don't have the requisite feet for me to project that against like Haney and Shakur. They just have he's just been fighting guys who come at him or statues. I keep saying the same thing. I don't know. Like this master closing distance against guys with terrible feet doesn't really speak much to me. So like maybe he could, maybe he couldn't. That's a question for me, and that's where it is. Like that's like I don't think that Tank. I think Tank would be the favorite, and rightfully so. I think it's an excellent pick by knockout for these guys. Like I'm not saying that. For me, it's a 50-50 because I think both of those guys. Actually, it's not a 50. It's a 50-50 for me for Dev because I think he can actually maintain the distance. Right. So Shakur, I shaved for Tank. I think that I think he could actually, I still don't think he need to go outbox Shake. I think he'd probably stop Shake.
It's up grabs now. Everybody can respond. I see maybe my boy Method to get here and shake it up with his opinion. Let's see what he got real quick. Zomani, you just in the back. I got you. I ain't going nowhere. Let me see what Method got, man. He be on other people's channel talking. Talk, man. Where you at? Big Method? I guess he quiet. All right, Zomani, I'm bringing you back in. Cisco the Kid drop.
Yeah.
Method.
I'll go ahead.
Method, you in here? Let me get Method.
I was just letting you know I'm here.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, what you got?
Hey, what y'all was cooking on? All right, I came in a little late.
We're on 135 divisions. Who you think is the best? Some of us think Shakur Stevenson is overrated. Some of us got Tank as number one. Some people think Devin Haney might be number one. What you got on the 135-pound division?
Well, I ain't gonna say like Shakur overrated. I think only way I would say I want to say overrated. If he fights Devin next, that's what I really want to see Shakur and Devin for. Shakur fight the winner of Devin Loma, and that's kind of how I can gauge him. But right now I think Tank is the best at 135. We've seen his power, his skill set at 140. We've seen it at 30. We've seen it with some of the best at 26, some of the best at 30. Some of the best at 135, and then we saw a glimpse at 140. We haven't even seen that with Devin. I mean, with Devin, it's always been like the excuse. These guys don't want to fight me, but with Tank, it's like he's just going up there, getting champions around the division, making fights. So right now, it's kind of like he done cut off all ends and any escape routes, in my opinion. So, we want to see, like, how good really Devin is. But Shakur, I've seen him get to smoke with guys, chase, like, Valdez around, catch him. Went straight at Jamel Hearn, put paws on him. Kasegal, people thought Kasegal would beat Valdez. And Shakur out there and said, you still think you good? I'm going to beat up on you. You know what I mean? Show you that you really ain't as good as you is. So, I mean, me personally, I say Tank is the best. Shakur showed me so far that in boxing,
plug came out the wall, fellas.
Say that again?
Nah, keep cooking.
Yeah, and yeah. So as far as in boxing, when it boils down to 35, although Dev got the belts, belts don't win fights. We saw that with T.O. We saw that with Cambosis. You can hold some belts, but it don't mean you Billy Badass. I mean, we seen Linares. He came from the small divisions, got to 35. He got beat on by Ponce. De Leon beat him up, knocked him out. Tried to go to 40, got knocked out. Tried to go back to 40, got knocked out. He was cool. He a cool guy. So now right at 35, I say Tank, Shakur, and then Dev. Skill wise, if we going by accolades, of course we'll say Dev. But when I'm watching the fights, like this week I've been going back, because of this Loma fight. Looking at it, and I'm like, Loma gonna get that boy some problems. And he can probably stop him. It all depends if Loma didn't. If Loma ain't age overnight and he come in there game, it can get real nasty in there. But we just going like betting favorites. I think Dad should win. He's a younger man, but skill wise alone, Tank and Shakur showed me far more in that lightweight division overall in boxing. That they're some of the two best in boxing, one of the two best in boxing.
All right, that sounds good to me. Hey, Hyplo, man, I see you trying to. It seems like you kind of messing with Method, but Method on here live in HD, man. If you want to get some work in with him, you're gonna have to come over here and do this heavy lifting yourself. Method cool with me. He got Tank stopping everything, so I'm with Method. Shit. All right. But anybody else open now, man. We just gonna go ahead and cook like that, all right? So everybody get their piece in now. It's really open. So what else you got? Let me see. Phil Walker, get back in here. Phil, you back in?
Absolutely, I'm back.
Okay, you had a double one in there. Let me kick that one out. The other one.
Yeah, I know some other cats were trying to get into the chat, so I kind of dropped out for a second.
It's open. Ain't nobody getting in.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm good. I just want to see if Hyplo want to get in because he sound like he trying to call.
Yeah. He's not just like that. He's also 5'5" and from Baltimore. Method is
Method from Baltimore, man. So we already know how he coming through, how he kicking in the door for us, man.
No, I would say like Shakur can fight. That's my first time seeing him fight. He can fight. It's just like the it factor. So it's just things that Tank does better than both of them. You know what I mean? Even with Lomachenko, like Lomachenko to show us that he, like out the gate, he could beat some of the best guys. He cooked Rigo. He cooked Rigo. He cooked Gary. Made light work of Linares, Campbell, Linares. You see, he can fight. You know what I mean? He ain't got no hole up in him. I could say that they good. Like I think Shakur is, again, he's the second best. If he was showing me some more, I'll be like, yeah, for sure. He the best in the division. But it's just certain things that Tank does and Shakur does that I haven't seen from him. He kind of plays it safe. And again, we always try to say, well, Tank fight flat-footed Mexicans. And I'm like, well, Dev, he fight little teeny dudes that don't really move their feet. It applies both ways. And when Tank got him in front of him, he put his shots together, get him up out of there. Dev, he be kind of timid in that motherfucker. You know what I mean? The only time when he really did try to, let his nuts hang, Linares put him on skates. And then he ain't been the same since. And that's on the Cambosis fight.
I agree. I got Tank. Be talking on, man. I'm trying to figure out. I'm just trying to. But I like that y'all like Shakur. I'm not even mad at that. I don't even got no rebuttals or nothing because it ain't nothing that he's done to really go against. To be honest with you, I just haven't seen anything. And maybe we'll see it here this year or in the next 2 years.
Oh man, let's do it. Send me an invite, citizen.
Hey man, what you? And Call of Duty, man, what you doing over there?
Send me an invite to the.
I didn't put Zoe over there. He playing Call of Duty, smoking blunt and all kind of good shit on the Tuesday. But yeah, I just don't see anything going on with I just don't see it, man. Not yet. I just don't see it, Nat.
Zone. I think you brought up some good points earlier. You know what I'm saying? That about the assessment of the punch stats, right? But this is what I will say. His punch stats, Shakur's got one fight at 35, right?
Mm-hmm.
So his punch stat, obviously the opponent wasn't, considered to be, you know, elite or top tier or anything. I think it was a decent opponent, you know what I mean, to say the least. But he did exactly what he was supposed to do to him, right? Stop the guy. So, you know, my deal is this right here. The only assessment I have on him as far as within the division with the punch stats is the fight that he just had. I think he performed well. I think I saw some good things. I think his power is coming along. So no. I mean, you raise a good point when you say I don't think we should compare the guys that he fought, and I don't think we should pair that with the statistics that he did at those weight classes. I mean, that's respectable, right? So just to kind of keep it an even playing field, but at the same time,
I think that's what Smoke is trying to say. I think he just. I'm not sure. Let's ask him. Smoke, is that what you were trying to say?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, that's what I did say repeatedly. You were just agreeing with me. That's all. You agreeing with both of us about him saying that you shouldn't compare opposition, and me saying you shouldn't compare that stat about.
Right. There you go.
That,
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, I think as far as Shakur is concerned, you know, like I said, I agree with both those premises. You in saying, you know, those statistics can be a little bit skewed because those were at lower weight classes. But as of now, he's continued that trend with his first fight at 135. Now, I also want to comment on the fact that about what you said about Tank, as far as he's not all just power, right? This is the deal right here, right? With that, I agree. Like I said earlier, I do think Tank is very, very athletic, and I do think, you know, his biggest asset is obviously his ability to land punches at a very high percentage, right? He's super duper accurate. You know, that within itself, I mean, that's literally the definition of boxing, right? I would think so, right? So obviously Tank can box. You know what I'm saying? It's just that his power is just kind of one of those things that we like to highlight because it's not like anybody else's in the division, right? You know, 130, 135, and I even venture to say probably even 140, to be honest about the shit. You know, I think he that has that kind of power. But to also say, I say that to say this. I do think all those guys have good ring IQs. I do think all those guys can box, right? Different styles, obviously. I just think that Tank Davis, I think the power gets highlighted so much because it's just so obvious. You understand what I'm saying? And when you compare apples to apples, I just kind of can easily say that he's the most powerful. I can easily say that I would say Devin Haney probably has the best jab within the division. And I could easily say that I think Shakur is the most elusive in the division, right? But all those guys have, like I said, different assets that has propelled them to be in the position that they're in right now. But I don't want for a second for anybody to think that I'm slighting Tank because, like I said, he's super duper athletic. He can box, and he does have a high connect percentage. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about his connect percentage is, man, it's devastating. If he can get his hands on you, you know, it's a different kind of situation. You understand what I'm saying? But man, this division right now, bro, is easily the best division in boxing, man.
To the body, you know, head, that's the issue. See, he's not just a head hunter and he's stopping you, which, you know, that's attractive. That's always sexy. But when it comes down to Shakur Stevenson, right, when you say elusive, that's going to be his ability to, you know, evade punches and evade scenarios. I think Tank slows that down. I think that Tank's counterpunching ability and ability to be patient and slow the fight down himself is going to nullify everything that Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney does. And I agree with when people say Devin Haney is the better between the two, between Shakur Stevenson. So I can see Haney having a little bit more time to possibly escape before Tank catches up with him as well. But Shakur Stevenson, man, I just see Tank putting that man in a blender. Like I just don't see him having shit for Tank. And I'm trying to see it. Maybe the next fight, because this is what I will say, boy. He does look good. I'm not gonna say he don't look good at all, but I like him better at dominating 130. Like at 130, I felt like, oh yeah, nobody beats Shakur Stevenson. Then he come up here being cute with 135. Appreciate you for daring to be great, man, but I'm just not sold on that. And I'm particularly talking about Tank because I picked Tank. Now, could he have some success against David Haney and others? That's a debatable situation, but Tank just punches to the body, into the head too accurately and too well for you to come out without the effects of what he does. And I just don't see how I don't believe Shakur is going to evade all of Tank's accuracy to the head, all the accuracy and power to the body, put enough whooping on Tank to have an effect, because Tank got a good chin and he's very durable. Do all that, stay out of harm's way with the most accurate puncher in goddamn boxing. I don't see how he do that. That's what I'm saying. I don't see, or Devin Haney, or anybody else, especially after what I saw with Ryan Garcia. And I would feel that Ryan Garcia is the better, faster, crispier puncher out of Haney and Shakur when it comes to that particular style.
Okay. See, when we talk about Tank, everybody just want to say what Tank going to do to somebody else. Now, like I said, when you have a guy, Tank is a precision puncher. Yes. He has shown precision punching with power. So it's going to be easier for us to say what damage he's going to do on another fighter, which is well respected and well given to him because he have shown it in the ring. Shakur Stevenson is also a precision puncher. He also has accuracy. And like I said earlier, it doesn't have to be a hard punch to hit you and hurt you. In boxing, it's mainly about the speed and the precision of the punch when it's landed. We don't know right now because they haven't been in the ring yet, and it's all fair and dandy to go with the guy with the power because it's right there in front of our face. We don't know if Shakur Stevenson or Devin Haney can also hurt Gervonta Tank Davis. Now, Davis have shown a really good chin. I don't think Shakur has shown any wobbling in the ring. I know Devin Haney did versus Lenoris, so everybody gonna hold that against him and say, well, Gervonta Davis can probably knock him out because he did get hurt versus Lenoris. But what people got to realize is Lenoris was not a big puncher. Lenoris is just a fast, precision, precise puncher. And when he punched in that combination, he was able to catch Devin in between punches. That's why he hurt Devin.
So what happens?
Hold on. Let me finish. Lenoris is not known for devastating punching power. What he is known for is speed and accuracy. And that will usually hurt fighters, the speed and accuracy. So I know we're doing all this projection and saying what the damage Gervonta Davis can do to people, but you have a good chin until you don't have a good chin. Margarito had a great chin until Shane Mosley was able to dent that one, was able to dent it. So we all can say a guy got a great chin. Yes, Gervonta Davis has shown that he can take some punches, but he has a great chin until he doesn't have one. So what I'm gonna say is this: Gervonta Davis can be, if you put him in a round robin versus all of them, and you pick Gervonta Davis, I got no problem with that. I'm not gonna argue with you because the man has shown that he can put damage on guys and beat guys, and he's still undefeated. So is Devin Haney is undefeated. He beat guys in his style. Shakur Stevenson is undefeated. He beat guys within his style. But like I said, Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney, we don't know. They may be able to hurt Gervonta Davis, and then the fight is totally all different. So I'm gonna project that Shakur Stevenson with his precision punches, he could probably hurt Gervonta Davis in he may be able to get the stoppage. Shit, we never know until they actually get in the ring. That's what happens with these high level fighters. When they get nobody picked Sugar Ray Leonard to stop Hearns. They picked Hearns to stop Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar Ray Leonard was able to go in there and stop Hearns. So it gets kind of different sometimes when you get in the ring, but we'll see though.
Yeah, but that's a weak argument, and what you did was a whole bunch of.
No, it's not a weak argument.
Okay, it is a weak argument because I just literally said what I don't see Shakur Stevenson able to do against Tank. I literally just said that. And Margarito is. I was gonna stop you and say before you said Margarito, I would say, man, this guy ain't Margarito, because I knew you was gonna say that shit. I knew you was gonna say that, but you went on and kept going. This ain't no fucking Margarito, man. Margarito had just a chin. He wasn't a precision puncher. This guy was long, dangly, and had bricks in his fucking hand. Tank got real bricks in his hand.
Hold on, Zone. My thing was from a chin standpoint that Margarito was shown that he can take punches. Yes. That man took Shane. I'm not Shane Mosley. He took Miguel Cotto power punches the whole fight. Whole fight.
Tank doesn't use his face and his chin for defense. Tank is not getting hit that much like a Margarito. This guy got all type of offensive weapons to match his defensive arsenal. So yes, Tank has a chin, but it's not just a standalone chin. He has power. The very thing to break a chin, he has that, the chin, and he has the power to break your chin. On top of the speed, he has the timing and the speed to nullify you. Everything. This guy has a complete balanced attack. The dude is a 99 in every category. The only thing I keep hearing people talk about is the lack of fucking range that he got, because other motherfuckers got longer arms, and that shit ain't done nothing for nobody against Tank. But get him up under the rib cage.
Okay, okay, that's fine. Look, when you say he got all these attributes, okay, yeah, he does have all these attributes. All those attributes ain't gonna hold on. All those attributes that he does have, that can't keep you from getting your ass whooped. Everybody, 99% of fighters in boxing get their ass whooped. So that doesn't mean gonna keep you from getting your ass whooped.
It's better than everybody at 135, though. I'm using my eyeballs to make an assessment. We know nobody don't know nothing until it happens. Duh.
Yeah, you're right.
Right. But I'm telling you, with my prediction based on what I just seen him recently do to another guy that was 135 but trying to mask himself as a 140 pounder, it didn't look good. The shit was brutal. If we keep it a buck, the nigga really broke his ass in half. I mean, the dude put him on his pockets to his chin. Okay. Then he went down to the basement and flooded his shit out, and he stopped him and quit in front of 1.2 million people. Like, come on, dude. This dude ain't just sitting here bullshitting. This ain't the old Tank where you didn't know when he was going to make weight, and, you could kind of think, well, there's some psychological gaps there. Even if you were to present that argument, I would kind of respect that more. But this dude psychologically has gotten his shit together. Now, if he go out in Baltimore and start doing all that house music shit and doing that bullshit that they do over there in Chocolate City, that's a whole different story. But right now, the dude is locked in. And a locked-in Tank Davis is way clearly better than everybody in every goddamn thing on the list in boxing.
Hey, we can't.
Okay, so I just wanted, if I was to get in there.
That's great.
Okay, if I can I get in there?
We can't say he's better. We can't say he's better than everybody at 135, because there's some guys at 135 that has not tasted defeat yet. So
I just wanted to show. I just wanted to say that Ryan was the best example of that kind of style. I think you're talking about the outboxing style, and for me, he sucks at fighting tall. Like, that's one of Ryan Garcia's, worst attributes is like his ability to fight, keep a guy at length. But to the extent that he was able to keep Tank at length, that's what the success that he had in that fight. And the same could be said for Rolly too, right? And neither one of those dudes are as good as fighting tall or as long or as disciplined at that type of style as Devin Haney. I don't even think Shakur is. I mean, Shakur may be as disciplined, but he certainly isn't more disciplined. Right?
But what's your bottom line? We understand.
I'm just saying that like we've seen guys have success against Tank keeping it long with the ability to keep it long. That seems to be the thing that gives him the trouble, even in the fights where he's knocking guys out.
But
It's when they overcommit or trade with him in the pocket, right? There's not when they're able to keep it long and at a jab at the end of the
but
jab, right?
you can't call it success if you then say we've seen guys have success and then they get stopped. Like that don't make sense, man. Like that means
Right.
he
So right, we're talking about how they get stopped though. Like the how these guys get stopped seems to be a universal theme with Tank. Is because they're standing there trading with him from the pocket. That's when Tank gets his thing, or they're overcommitting and running to a shot. That's how Tank gets knocked.
yeah, that's what you're supposed to do against guys who might be taller or rangier than you. You make them
Right. I
overextend.
just said.
Right.
I'm saying
You
like if any of those guys were able to fight tall to the extent that Shakur and Dev can, right? Like that to me seems to be the thing that has success that Tank has problems figuring out. Like he needs for
yeah.
you to either have the kind of feet where you won't move when he closes the gap, or you close the gap for him by coming at him.
Nah, that sounds like a theory, man. You gonna fight that tall? You talking about you gonna have to be Deontay Wilder or Tyson Fury to the success of fighting tall that you talking about is gonna have to be in Tyson Fury versus Tank. These 35 motherfuckers, they're not fast enough to execute that Larry Holmes and Muhammad Ali effect. I watch, they're not that fast. Like even Haney. Haney doesn't have real good feet, bro. He does attempt to fight long. Okay, he fights long, but he get caught and tracked down. He's gotten up off the deck with lesser opponents. In my opinion, we've seen him dust his pockets off and get the wipe the gloves off, nigga, and step left, step right. Come on now. I mean, that's the point of what I'm saying. When you fight rangy, Tank picks up with the counter punching. Hence how he nullifies your range. That's what I'm saying.
See, right. So I agree with like if he fights Tank the way he fought either JoJo or Linares, right? Like that's my thing. Like if he decides that he's gonna sit there and trade with him and take him and try to walk Tank down or something do crazy shit like that, then yeah, then I think he's going night night. Like that is not the kind of fight, at least not as a like strategy to win the fight. Um, Against Tank Davis that I think Devin Haney should adopt, right? I think he should make Tank figure it out, attack, and make Tank figure out how to close the gap and show his terrible feet. All that shit. Like, but don't try, what you don't do is fight that dude on the inside and trade with him like he did with Leonardo JoJo.
Okay, hear me?
Yeah, I could. I don't know if you can hear me. If
Yeah,
anybody
I
can
can
hear
hear
me.
you. Yeah, go ahead. You
Yeah.
want to cook?
Right.
Go cook.
My bad.
Yeah,
So smoke. So you think Dev can maintain fighting on the back foot, right? For 12 rounds, not even 12, for like 6 rounds. Like that's because that's kind
I
of like
feel like he
you
can.
hoping on. It sounds
I
like
feel
you
like he
hoping on
can
a
keep
prayer
it
that
at
Dev.
range. I don't think it's necessarily not necessarily on the back foot. I think he can just keep it range. But yeah,
But
I
doesn't
think
that sound
the thing
something
is
like
that
a Ryan Garcia though? Like hopefully Ryan can land this one punch, and then it turned to well, hopefully Dev can just you know just stay like just run around the ring, bro, and barely throw punches. I don't see how you
well,
gonna fight against
it's
a
like
guy that's
this.
in his prime.
It's really very simple, right? Like the idea that you are going to mix it up on the inside with Tank is a not a very good one, right? So if you're smart, you're going to not do that. You just start there, just from like being smart versus not being smart, right? You, unless you think that like unless anybody thinks that Dev has a shot mixing it up with Tank on the inside. I don't know anybody
If
who would say that,
if we
right?
can't,
I don't
if
even
we
think
can't,
Bill
if
Haney
we
would say
can't
that.
fight, if we can't fight on the inside, he might as well not even show up.
Yeah,
Be
right.
honest
I'm
with you.
saying.
That's
So
why I
like, it
say.
just
That's why
goes
I
to
always
show,
say
right? It
Dev
just
ain't gonna
stands.
fight him, bro.
Yeah,
But
it
that's
just
that's
stands
why I
to
say
reason
Dev
what
ain't
kind of
gonna
fight
fight
to
him.
fight. But
But
it just it's
that's what I'm that's what I'm saying. That's why I say Dev ain't never gonna fight Tank, bro. He can't fight the inside. He ain't.
no.
That's why I think it's more of a
But
focus.
that's not what it is. It's not that he can't fight on the inside. It's that you don't fight Tank on the inside.
You gotta fight. Like, did you see the
Okay,
top rank?
no, you
Did
don't.
you see? Hold on, hold on,
Like
hold on.
literally, you
Did
can
you
fight him
see
from
top
distance and
rank?
mid range,
Did you
and you
see?
can win by doing that, right?
Did you see top rank when they did like the Haney thing for the pay per view? And they played Floyd saying that Devin Haney, bro. They sent in the gym. He said you gonna have to fight on the inside, bro. Like that's pure boxing, bro. Like that's why I
Yeah,
think
no. I
somebody
mean, I'm
earlier
just
mentioned.
saying,
Hold on,
right?
somebody
There's a way
earlier mentioned
that
the
you fight on the
Tommy
inside
Hearns
that
and
isn't
Ray
mixing it.
Leonard, bro. Like when Ray Leonard fought Tommy, they was fighting out, and then Ray
Yeah,
closed the distance, or Tommy
there's a
closed the
way of
distance, and
fighting on
land
the
that shot.
inside that isn't mixing it up. Like there's a way of fighting on the inside that isn't mixing it up on the inside.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying you turn into a daddy war type fight. Like, no, you know what I mean? You ain't even. I'm just saying on the inside. I mean, if you can't fight on the inside and your whole and you banking on that you're going to take body shots, take like even when Tank starts counter, I don't think their chin of that is that good.
Exactly.
Based on how he fights, I don't like. I'm not seeing what people are saying. I don't think he has a chin. He doesn't have the power. I think he's very youthful
Yeah,
for a
yeah.
young guy.
So
He got
I
some
think we're
fight in
just
him, but
like maybe
I
talking
don't see
past each other a little bit. Like when I say he don't he shouldn't mix it up on the inside with him. That's not to mean that he shouldn't fight on the inside. Like yes, at some point the fight is going to happen on the inside, and he has to know what to do in that situation to make sure he's not mixing it up on the inside.
but you still like all right. So that's why I'm a favorite. Like this is why I say the Shakur and Tank fight is a better fight. 'Cause I think Shakur, just based on like his mentors. I mean, guys, he has his grandfather. He's been around Andre Ward. He's been around Terrence Crawford. So like he understands like you're gonna have to fight Tank, bro. This is a guy that's in his prime. That has power. So how do you take away a little bit of the power? You smart with the shots. You control the guard, bro. You control it. You got to control it. Like then we hear Shakur when he talk about how he mentions the Holyfield Mike Tyson. How did Holyfield beat Mike Tyson? You get on his ass, bro. You don't sit there and be at no. Like, we just seen Mike knock out big dudes, bro. And they try to play that run around the ring around the rosy game, bro. It don't work that way, bro. It's just if you're a pure boxer, bro, and these guys are supposed to be pure boxers, you're gonna have to beat the steam off Tank, bro. Because late in the fight, it's not gonna benefit you
Yeah, I
if
mean,
it's
there's
about
all
you
kinds
just
of
using your leg.
examples of like outboxers beating box punchers and boxer punchers beating outboxers. It's just the style matchup, right? And then it's the attributes of the guys. I mean, there's just replete. We can keep talking about stories and Oscar De La Hoya versus Sugar Shane Mosley,
I hear you, man.
and
I'm
two
just
different
saying, like
things, right?
you
But but
gotta
but
you
is
gotta
Oscar
beat
cracking
steam
like
off.
Tank? No.
Uh, you says Oscar punching like Tank. I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly,
Tank has that. He
exactly.
got
Like
that. He got
I
that Hall
said,
of
no.
Fame. He got that
It's
I
Hall
asked a
of
only a
question.
Fame
I want
power.
your
He
answer.
got
No,
that.
not at all.
it's only a few
I'm
boxers
saying
in history. It's only a few boxers in history that had answers to all the styles, and that's the ones that went undefeated, like a Joe Calzaghe or a Mayweather and stuff like that. But that's like less than one tenth of percent of boxers. Most fighters have trouble with certain styles. It's just what it is. It's a science. Most fighters have problems with certain styles. We don't
well,
know until
well,
they get into the ring. We don't
I
know if
I
if
know.
Tank is gonna have problems
I
with
know for
Shakur.
sure. I
We
know for
don't know
sure
if
Dev
Tank
ain't
gonna have
beating. I
problems
know
with
for
Haney.
sure.
We don't know yet.
I know for sure Dev ain't beating Tank, bro. He
Exactly.
don't got it, bro.
Dev, yeah, to me, Dev and Shakur are the most accomplished outboxers that Tank would face if he fought them, like
But
next to one two.
outboxing who though, bro? It's not all right.
I
So
mean, I
you
got
can
you.
get it.
I got it. Listen, we
I
just been
can.
saying
If
Tank
you were
knocking out
saying
who.
Shakur,
That and
if you
like
were
that, the
saying
thing is,
Shakur,
that's what makes the matchup intriguing.
if
Because
you
the
were
flip
saying
side,
Shakur, if you were saying Shakur, right? I've seen Shakur in there with some power punches. I've never seen Dev face a guy that's a power puncher. That's even with a guy that's moving around. You see what I'm saying? I'm just not
okay,
seeing it. We can take the
right.
sake
So
out if we start to take out
I
boxing
don't
with
think
Valdez. We
I
see
don't think
Valdez
Shakur is.
knocking
Yeah,
guys
I don't
clean
think.
up. You know,
I
I
don't
just
think
haven't
Shakur.
seen, and Janelle Hearn out boxing guys. I just haven't seen Dev even fight that level of guys, bro. I mean, if we talk about Cambosia,
So you
he
haven't
slugged
seen
it out with
so you haven't seen
it
Gamboa knock
was just
people out.
slugging.
You haven't seen Linares knock people out.
I don't know what Linares knocked out. You can't tell me so.
Okay, I mean I hear you. I mean, so because you don't know him, that mean okay, I got you.
I know he got
So
knocked out by Ponce de Leon. I
let's
know
put
when he
that to one
came to
side. No,
30 pounds, he got knocked
we're not
out.
even going
I know when
we're
he
not even
fought Lee
going there.
Campbell, he ain't knocked Lee Campbell out.
The issue that it is not necessarily whether or not one guy has a knockout power. Like, and some people prefer
Does
that, or that's part of their metric.
Linares
But
knocked out
I'm
Lee
talking
Campbell?
about at this point. Like right now, I'm just talking about the ability to win from the outside, like being an outboxer, right? That like being long and keeping it long, having the feet to keep it long, being the thing that seems to be one of the puzzles that Tank has to figure out with guys, especially like
Well,
guys who are like longer ranger. What he hasn't
so
had to face is someone who actually is trying to, instead of win on like volume and being a stationary fighter, like holding their ground, guys who actually maintain the gap versus just hold their
well,
ground. So you can actually close the gap because they're willing to like hold it, because all they do is hold their ground. If an outboxer, certain times they'll hold their ground, certain times they'll maintain the gap. Right? It's just like what happens is what's happening in the particular moment, what the opponent is doing. That you close that gap, but you don't fight that way the entire time, right? You don't just sit there like I'm gonna fight from the outside unless my opponent comes forward, and then I'm gonna fight him from mid range, and then I'm gonna fight him from close range because I'm not gonna give up ground. That's not really an outboxer.
right. So that isn't that. I mean, we can go to the JoJo fight. Like you making it seem like the things that transpired in that fight, JoJo didn't force. Like JoJo forced Dev to slug it out. And by the grace of JoJo not having any mustard on his punches and being flat footed, and just kind of brawling, I mean, Dev won the slug match. To be honest with you, the points that Dev threw about 4 or 5 same punches, bro. He threw the right hand like 4 times, and JoJo, he go into his high guard and he allow you to do it. Yeah, I mean, it's I just don't see how I don't think he's going to fight Tank person, but if they do fight,
Yeah.
I just see Tank knocking him out, bro. I just think Shakur, I think he knows what he had to do, but can he do it is the question. You get what I'm saying? It's like we seen Nakatilia when he hit him, he just like he didn't really. We saw him change a little bit. So like if that's still dormant in him, it's going to show up again. And
I've seen JoJo cut off the ring with guys who have as good as feet as Dev, if not maybe better feet than Dev. But I've seen that happen. I haven't seen cut off the ring. I haven't seen Tank cut off the ring with anybody whose feet are worth a fuck. So, like the fact that JoJo had did something that had Dev fighting away, I mean that's cool. But I also think that JoJo is not cracking like Tank. So his maybe Dev's willingness.
You saying JoJo got better feet than Tank? Are you saying JoJo?
Maybe Dev's willingness to use that as an option in JoJo Diaz, and really, it better be that he felt like he could use that as an option in a way that he doesn't think that about Tank. Because if he does think that about Tank, he's going to sleep.
So you saying JoJo got better feet than Tank?
No, I'm saying I'm saying that he has cutting off guys who actually can use lateral movement, right? Who actually have feet that you need to have some experience cutting off. Like Gary Russell Jr. has phenomenal feet. Tevin Farmer has really good feet. The guy that's Tank fights don't have really good feet. Gamboa he's had decent feet. He was all right, but not like lateral movement kind of shit. He fights the kind of straight lines and whatever. He's still like
and I gotta disagree. It's no way I'm gonna say JoJo got better feet than Tank. Tank is always him and JoJo have this one thing. They both short guys, so they know what they're up against when they fighting taller guys and guys that want to bounce around the ring. You gotta cut the ring off. And the it that changes that is that when Tank hitting you balling up. You see what I'm saying? Most guys they go into a guard, try to take some fire off of it, and then where you going? You see what I'm saying? And Tank is better with placing his shots. He's a better combination puncher. Just fundamentally, he throws his punches better. Like, it's just I don't see it, bro. We can compare. Honestly, we can compare him to the Sugar Ray Leonard, bro, scale for scale. I think Leonard he did a little bit things like Floyd Leonard and Pernell did things that just make it also already put the next in the Hall of Fame all time greats. Is like they had no problem like really just fighting you in that motherfucker. You see what I'm saying? That's what we saw from them. And I think again if does step up to fight Tank, yeah, I mean, we're gonna see Tank fight this motherfucker and knock him out the ring, bro. Like I believe Dad would be the one that gets knocked down like first 3 rounds, bro. Like he gonna do him dirty, bro.
Yeah. So look, too. So we can keep cooking on the 35 because we do need to show that love to mix it up, man. Because a lot of people talk about some of the same redundant stuff. No disrespect, but we kind of touch on everything, man. This is how we really talk behind the scenes about everything, outside of just the usual suspects. What do you guys think about probably one of the hot topics in YouTube that everybody's kind of focused on, and that's the Lopez seemingly racist comments? Anybody paid attention to that or got their take on that?
I think it's true colors showing. Based on the people we deal business with on YouTube, like the punch drunks, what I mean, that guy's, he's been known to say some outlandish stuff and try to spark like little race wars. And if that's someone that you want to be around and call an associate, that speaks volumes about your character. I'm not surprised. I'm not going to say race. I'm gonna say he's a bigot. He's a bigot.
I mean, I'm gonna say a lot of these guys say things, because it's the heat of competition. They they are warriors and things of that nature. We heard Bernard Hopkins tell Joe Calzaghe, "I'm not gonna let a white boy." Devin Haney said, "I'm not gonna let a white boy beat me." So when T.O. say something about black fighters, I know people want to get up in arms, all this, all that. You can just go through history. Fighters say things. We seen Duran? We heard Duran say things about black fighters. We heard Chavez say things about black fighters. So this people say these things. I don't really care, to be honest with you. It's just a long, redundant history of this shit going on. People get up in arms about it and say what they got to say about it, and then leave it alone because somebody else say something. But I just think T.O. is in a bad mental state outside of boxing. I think T.O. got things going on in his personal life and is spilling off into his boxing career. And what he has to do before he be retired early or really get seriously hurt in the ring, he gotta rectify what's going on the outside, because I think a lot of his frustration come from the outside, and he bringing it into into his boxing career, and he's not disciplined on the outside career, so he got to get some things straight. But I'm not up in arms with what the man said about black fighters. I don't think black fighters even care about it, to be honest with you. Shit, it's black people that don't even like black people, so who cares, really? Be honest.
It's the issue, right? I think it's because what he stated was, y'all can keep the black fighters, and it's in that statement. It's like it sounds like a jealousy or resentment, But I mean, if you are what you say you are, why does it matter if the promotional company that you're dealing with is investing some of their time into other fighters? That's what they're supposed to do. You're supposed to be the takeover. Shouldn't nothing be bothering you? You see what I'm saying? If you grade be quote unquote 2-time undisputed, right? Just going based off what he says and what he presents. Why does what Top Rank is doing with other fighters who are black or whatever, right? Why does that bother you? Right? Like, how can you hold any resentment towards that? That's where the bigotry comes in. You get what I'm saying? Like, he just had this like he's kind of delusional. Even if it's outside the ring, that sounds like something in the household. It should have never came out of his mouth. We don't see that with Ryan Garcia when he's on the zone, Golden Boy. Why are they giving AJ this attention or Conor Ben and all this other stuff? But for T.O., it's a different energy. Again, that's why I said it all circles around the people he's possibly dealing with on social medias or in the circle. Can it be fixed? Yeah. Nobody stays the same. People always change, but it's a lack of class, in my opinion.
All right, man. Let me cook on this right here, man, because I'm gonna be honest with you. To me, it's bitch, female, feminine energy. You dig? That's what I'm getting. Anytime somebody makes a comment because they feel like I'm not getting the attention I'm supposed to get, That's that shit hoes do, man. Excuse my language. You understand what I'm saying? But it is what it is. You dig? I mean, in the grand scheme of things, bro, you are on a fucking major. You sign with a major company. You got they have to spread their resources out amongst everybody, right? And the truth of the matter is, if you don't feel like you prioritize, then you know what? You need to step your fucking game up. That's nobody's fault but your own. I can guarantee you if you still was undisputed, you wouldn't be saying this shit. So at the end of the day, you got nobody to blame but yourself. You understand what I'm saying? That's like the female that feel like you need to put her first, but she ain't done shit. Like, nah, I got other hoes out here. Shawty, you need to chill. If you want to be prioritized, you need to step your fucking game up. So look, bro, that's female behavior. You know, he's a Latino male. You know, he probably does have some kind of resentment towards black people because, you know, I've noticed that a lot amongst several communities that I'm a part of. Is everybody like that? No. But obviously he does have some kind of problem. You know what I mean? But look, at the end of the day, as my man just spoke, he got a lot of outside shit going on, man. He need to fix that shit and then, you know, get himself right inside the ring. Because if he loses this upcoming fight, I don't know what the man might do. You know, you already acting like a woman. You might might want to slit your wrist. So I don't know what's to come of the kid, man. He just need to get himself together, man, and stop worrying about all this extra shit and just fight. You're a boxer, bro. Just box.
I agree with that 100%, man. I just think the nigga really is an idiot. And he Latino. Um, it's so much to go into that on, man. I mean, when he where he from? Puerto Rico, Mexico? Like, where his family from? Spain? See,
I think his family from I think they're Puerto Rican, I think.
Honduras.
Honduras, there you go.
man, and then see with that shit, man. And I'm gonna just say this, man. When you start talking about identifying people and identity politics, no disrespect, but I be confused because within the Latinos, right? Sometimes they claim the European part or the Spanish, and they went through and raped everything in goddamn America, but they claim that. Then they claim the indigenous side of the land and the natives there, but then they also got like an African mixture that's in there, like Afro Latina. It's just too much going on, man, for motherfuckers to be just blurting out shit. I don't even know if he know what the fuck he really is, man. It ain't his daddy on cocaine or some shit like that, or known to play with his nose. Man, these guys be having deep rooted issues. He need to focus on his fight. I don't even take no offense to it, you know what I'm saying, as a guy who identifies black, you know what I'm saying, because it's a difference between all these other identifying markers. He just acknowledging that, you know, he feels inferior to what is superior, and that is the person who he feel or the people who he feel is getting the attention that is earned and deserved from ESPN. Like you said, it's a level of being feminine to it too. Oh man, they can just have. I can see his little gay ass snapping his fingers and rolling his neck. Man, you can just go ahead and have it then. That's what sucker niggas do. Man, you can just have it then. Solve the problem. Talk to ESPN like on some business shit. Put your suit and tie on and say, hey man, listen, I got a proposal for you, man. I'm still trying to fight here. I'm trying to do X, Y, and Z. What direction are you guys going on? Man, that's why you guys need to go to high school, man, and they need to start taking some college courses, and they need to make training mandatory for these idiots. Because it's already that they're getting hit in the top of the head and they fucks with you long term. But they really need to, and these some of the bitches ain't even fighting that long. In between that, man, they need to make these guys have a mandatory package of shit that they got to do sometime to keep their qualifications, man. They need to have them guys attending domestic abuse classes, substance abuse classes, and fucking get them safe ride cars so son of a bitches won't get in behind the wheel drunk and stupid shit like that. And they need to teach these guys. They need to give these guys some basic economic courses and public speaking, because I don't be understanding what the fuck they be saying. They don't even be selling fights no more. The shit don't even be charismatic. It be like hoe type shit. You know what I'm saying? From this new generation. It don't even be, they don't say no fly shit. Like after every press con, I remember it was a time when HBO had boxing, boy. Shane Mosley win the fight, you like, oh shit, boy, what he about to say next? Floyd Mayweather, what the fuck he about to say next? You know what I'm saying? You can remember this one man, Ricardo Mayorga. The nigga, I don't know what the fuck he's saying, but I can't wait to hear what he got to say. Also, I can't wait to see what he gonna say. Wayne brought up Bernard Hopkins. Man, Bernard Hopkins went down to Puerto Rico and threw the flag on the ground. They finna beat his ass in Puerto Rico. Like, these guys are trying to, I think, have a hot take, but it's just they ain't got no swag, man. They just T.O. just a lame ass nigga, man. That's just my take. Nigga just a lame ass nigga that I don't feel offended by it because he just recognizing what is the threat to his existence to me. And that's him feeling that ESPN is catering to black people or black fighters or whatever.
Let me tell you something, Zone. You know, and it's kind of weird that you bring up all these transitional classes or courses or curriculum. You understand what I'm saying? And I call them transitional because obviously you're going from, let's just say, amateurs to the pro, or from college football to the NFL, or college basketball to the NBA. You know, boxing doesn't have these transitional courses. The NFL has them. The NBA has them. You understand what I'm saying? And obviously, motherfuckers still going, you know, if you're an asshole, you're an asshole. Don't matter if you go through the courses or not, right?
Absolutely.
But at the end of the day, I think it needs to be something that needs to be there. So, you know, if you are somebody that has had that training, you can kind of, you know, stop yourself and think. For people who actually want to think about their career, intelligent young men, say, okay, I've had training to know that this is probably something I shouldn't say, or this is probably something I shouldn't do or shouldn't drink and drive, because you have that representation. The problem with boxing is basically like you're an independent contractor at the end of the day. You represent the sport, but not really though, right? Versus like with these other professional leagues is, you know, you representing that NFL that's on everybody's uniform, that NBA that's on everybody's uniform, right? So when you step out even in public, you are a representation of that, right? So which is with boxing, it's just like, hell, I'm inactive. I can get out here and piss on holes or whatever it is I want to do this week, whatever. I don't care. It don't matter. I come back 2 years later and people act like they forgot about it or whatever the situation may be. But like you said, man, T.O. just need to get his shit together, man. Sometimes less is more, man. Just shut the fuck up and fight.
I agree.
That's what I tell people. Ain't nothing wrong with not saying nothing. But you don't need to have shock value if you ringing niggas necks in that ring. You ain't got to say a motherfucking thing. Mm-hmm. If you doing what you're supposed to do in that ring, you ain't got to say shit. You like, okay, you step in that ring with me. You know what the fuck going on. Period. You understand what I'm saying? You don't have to have shock value, man. And I think that's the problem with a lot of these youngsters and this social media shit. Everybody trying to be trending. I want to be trending because I damn near done killed the nigga with a left cross or some shit like that. It's like, yo, this nigga, we might need to change the rules. This nigga gonna kill somebody. You know what I'm saying? But nah, man, motherfuckers want to have shock value for all the wrong fucking reasons, using their fucking mouth. And that's where a lot of this bullshit come in at, bro. And like I say, it's feminine, it's female behavior, bro. Like, you know, who else saying shit to get up underneath the nigga skin beside these hoes? Like, that's, you see what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Bro, you gotta be better than that, man. And you a boxer. You're participating in one of the most manliest fucking sports ever created in society, and you want to be out here doing shit like a bitch. Bro, just fight, and that's all you gotta do. Less is more, bro. So, and again, I do agree, they do need to have some kind of program in place, just like all these other professional leagues do. Just throwing it out there.
Agreed. Yeah, and I'm with that. They need to do something about that. But fuck T.O. Now UGBC, right? I got you here. Let's look at this. Okay. You saying you speak your piece. I respect it. If you want to stay in the comment section, you can stay in the comment section. But let me warn you about this channel over here. We will let you come on and speak your piece. Don't come over here with that shit that you don't heard from somebody else's channel, because you might get your ass scrubbed to the ground. But also, you could come over here and move some furniture around and get that work in and get comfortable and speak your piece. Get on, get off. It's up to you. But we don't just do all that talking. I'm like a guy. I might go off camera every once in a while, but I'm not a robot. I'm not a fake person. I don't got nothing to hide and shit like that. I mean, I can take my shirt off and all that kind of shit on here, but it's a bunch of niggas. I am the part. So I like to exhibit that. You can bring your ass on here. You ain't got to get on camera, but if you got something to say about the topic, because one thing I noticed is when we start talking about race relation, then all these people start popping their head up. This ain't the other community that y'all niggas be getting scarred and scrubbed down by. You can bring your ass on here and make an argument for your position. We ain't gonna judge it. If not, then you do stay behind the scene and don't you break code, whatever fucking code that is. Our code over here is truth. Blood, what's up, man? Come on and jump in. You be saying everybody come on your channel. You don't want to play moderator. You say you want to get in on here. Here's the link specifically for you. I got one more piece. We've been talking about 135 boxing all day. We ain't been talking about no politics, no politics. Blood, come on in here. You be saying you want to get in. When we going live, we live in HD, big dog. Come on over here so you can get this work. You're not exempt from it. We love you. We fuck with you, but you ain't exempt. Get your ass in here. We don't give a fuck about who the face of boxing is. Talk about these people that's boxing at 135. We want to talk about boxing. We tired of the politics. We can get on that too. But if this invite for y'all to it, we're going to shut this shit down because we finna hit 3 hours. UGBC, the link is in there. Come speak your piece on it or stay back. Blood, you got time. I know you retired. You don't have your meds for the day in the jello. Bring your ass on over here so you can cook with some real players. And then, other than that, I'm going to let the guys go around, speak their piece, tell where everybody can find them. If Blood jump on, we'll revamp this motherfucker again. But go ahead, Wayne, tell me where everybody can find you at, man, and speak your piece and talk your shit.
And everybody can find me on here, man. I'll be on here doing my thing, or I might go on my channel, Wayne Talk. You know, I'll fire one up. You know, we all like to get it in and come on here and speak our piece. And you know, hey, sometimes you get that work, sometimes you don't. Come on here, man. I advise everybody to come on here and speak because we don't discriminate. Now, this is not a channel to where we're gonna be all one-sided here and we got a fake code and all this stuff. The only code is the truth. Period. We're gonna get down to the bottom of it.
All right, man. What's up, man? What you got, Method? You cooking? You been cooking today, man? What you got from B More, Chocolate City all day? What you got?
Hey, look, it was Phil just talking earlier, right? As far as like, I think you mentioned being charismatic, and Phil was saying something. Damn, there's Phil. That's the bottom left.
Yeah.
Dang. It was like a TO situation. I mean, I don't really want to keep harping on the TO, but yeah, I think the difference is when guys is just jealous or they just. You know, I agree with like getting the classes because boxing, you know, it's really no secondary education. You know, there is no draft. You know, guys get taken advantage of. These young guys get taken advantage of. They taking punches since 5 to 10. You know, and that changes them forever. You know, there really isn't no post career for real unless you commentating like the Andre Woods, Timothy Bradleys. You know, so yeah, I mean that's something that should be implemented in the boxing. Letting these guys get a associate's degree, a bachelor's degree. And if they want to pursue a master's, I think that college or even a trade, you know, what they want to do with themselves, you know, that should be presented. We've heard like Danny Garcia and Mikey talking about bringing awareness or educating fighters. You know, but when we do have guys like Floyd, Manny Pacquiao, and all across the world, you know, these elite all-time greats and Hall of Famers, it would be cool to see at the Hall of Fame them in the sanctioning bodies. They take advantage of these guys, you know. They'll bring them in to try to educate these fighters, you know, and create a life after boxing for these guys, you know, so they can, let's say like a prospect, you know, he falls short, you know, you can introduce something for him so he can have a career. You see what I'm saying? So he's not struggling out here, you know, trying to make ends meet. or he done lost all his senses, and they just throw him to the side. Because again, what we saying with T.O., I think that's just it's innately in him. You see what I'm saying? That's just innately in dude. And I don't want to hear the shit again. I don't want to hear him come back out and say like black people this, black people that. For his shortcomings. What Haney said or what even B-Hop said. I saw somebody in the chat saying it's a total different conversation. It's not even the same thing. It's not even the same lane. A dude blaming black people for what the fuck he not doing right, or him being a weirdo, or people think he a clown or something. That's on dude. Now I'm saying I don't think a white boy beat me. I'm thinking your skills ain't what you saying you is. It's time to fight. You see what I'm saying? That's a different conversation.
All right, Blood is in the building. He showed up, man. He want to talk some real boxing. What's up, Blood? What's going on, man? We're going to go and keep it rolling then, since OG. What's up?
What's good with y'all, man? Good to see y'all, man. I see y'all talking about the lightweight division.
Yeah.
I'm only now just getting into the conversation, so I'm not really sure where y'all at with everything. I do know that my favorite lightweight out there right now is Tank Davis. I think he's the best one out there, man. I don't think nobody could beat him, but I always gonna give credit where it's due, man. Devin Haney got all the belts right now, so to me, he's the most important lightweight because he got all the straps, man. But as far as the most talented, I go with Tank Davis. There's a lot of young talent in there that ain't fought each other. You got Martin, you got Davis, you got all these different guys, man, that are undefeated. So Shakur Stevenson, I would like to see some of these guys mix it up, man. As far as what Teofimo, he ain't a lightweight, but he was at one time in the lightweight division. I don't give a fuck what he talks about. I'm not looking for his acceptance. I don't care about none of this race talk in 2023. This ain't 1983. This ain't 1963. All of that shit is irrelevant to me. So I don't care. I don't care what he says. He can say what he wants to say about black fighters and all of that stuff, man. Don't make no difference to me. He's just a young snot-nosed kid and a punk. So I don't really care what no young snot-nosed punk says. He don't offend me because I don't give a fuck about him, to be real with you. And I don't know why people are coming on here crying about what some little young ass kid said. It don't make me no difference. He got to get in the ring, like Phil said. He got to get in the ring and he got to prove himself. He could talk all until he blue in the face, but when it all comes down to it, he's gonna have to get through that fight with Josh Taylor, and he's gonna have to get through guys like Regis Prograis and people like that. I don't give a fuck who he signs with. Just get the fights done, man. If you want to say something about black folk, that's good. Just make sure you get in there with Regis Prograis and keep that same energy when you're going in there against them type of fighters. That's all I got to say about that, bro.
Okay. So
let's not catch up with the conversation as I listen in on what y'all was talking about.
You just caught up, really. That's what we was pretty much saying. We was breaking down the styles. Smoke was on here. We got Wayne and we got Phil. They was giving us why they think stylistically Shakur probably could be the best and win around robin, but I'll let them speak to that. I'm with you with Tank, and Method is with Tank on the line right now. So it's us three saying we think X about Tank, but I'll let Wayne talk, kind of reiterate it to you, and let Phil talk for himself.
Shout out to Wayne Talk, Phil, and my boy Method. I know Method well too. Shout out to all y'all.
Shout out to the OG Blood.
Right. Yeah, you cook on him. I guess catch him up what y'all was saying about Shakur because y'all had a different perspective. Because I kind of agree with you with Tank. Man, you kind of cooked on this a little bit, but it just give Wayne talking Phil time to express a good point that they had. One of y'all want to speak on Shakur Stevenson and why y'all think he kind of beats everybody at the division based on y'all thoughts?
Yeah, I could cook on it. Sound like Wayne might be tied up. This is my deal. Just in a nutshell, I've been kind of, more so. How y'all doing? More so, less the same thing I was saying from earlier. Is that hold on, man? I done came into Fiesta or something. Hold on.
Well, why they get themselves together, Blood? I know, man, you've been talking about been getting on Earl Spence ass. Maybe they'll wake up for this shit. We'll let him pause on that. But yeah, man, Earl Spence is a bitch, man. What you update on his bitch ass you got? Me and we didn't get to cook because I was moving around, but we here now. What you got on Earl Spence, man, and his ducking ass and
same thing, you punk ass bitch. He the reason why the fight took so long to happen. Because he started talking about side of the street and taking the easy route and all kinds of shit like that and trying to price out Terrence Crawford. So Terrence Crawford did what he had to do. He went out there, he got paid $10 million, signed with whatever they call Black Prime or something like that for one fight. He's still a free agent. He's making boss moves out here. He ain't no follower. He a leader. He doing things for his community. People tried to downplay him and tell him what he need to take and all kind of stuff like that. Well, he's been able to negotiate without the help of these fanboys. He don't need none of y'all's assistance. He's the one who put the blood, sweat, and tears in the ring. As fight fans, we shouldn't be sitting back telling people what they should take and all kind of stuff, being couch potatoes and all that kind of stuff. There ain't none of us getting the ring, busting heads and doing none of that like what Terrence Crawford is doing. So I like the way he moved in this whole thing. People say they don't like the way he moves. I do. I like the way he moves, and I think he's going to knock Errol Spence the fuck out. And Errol Spence is going around here looking fat. He's looking fat in his camps. He's having to have a fat camp, and then he's going to have to after the fat camp, then he could get into his training camp. So he's just not a dedicated fighter, man. I don't like the way the nigga move outside of the ring. It's just I favor Terrence Crawford. I think Terrence Crawford has more accomplishments. Terrence Crawford is a multiple weight champion. He was an undisputed, and if he becomes undisputed at welterweight and then moves up to junior middleweight and becomes undisputed there, now we talking ATG type shit. So salute to Terrence Crawford. I think he the man. Another thing I don't like about Errol Spence is dumb fucking fans. They ain't one that's ever been solid on YouTube. All of them are bitch ass niggas and suckers, and they're followers, and that's why they love Errol Spence. And they're suckers too with everything else they do. And that's why they follow around behind Errol Spence, man. That's what I got to say about it, bro.
I agree with you 100%. I think it's absolutely his fault. Some people feel like, obviously it's Terrence Crawford's fault. Some people feel it's Errol Spence's fault. Some people feel that it's a combination of both. But I've moved out of the space of even considering that it could be an equal joint issue. It's just, to me, Errol Spence's behavior, like I always say, I can't say a guy who's made fights before on a consistent basis with no problems, no issues, undisputed, unified, lineal. He comes into a new division. He has nothing, no issues with any fights until we start getting to the motherfuckers on the other side of the street. Because I call Bud Crawford Mr. Four-Way Stop now, because he's cleaned up this street, and Earl Spence Street too as well too. So he's really waiting outside of the guy's house. He's really on his block right now, putting up signs and for sale signs and shit in his yard. And Earl Spence won't come outside and play. He keep ducking around, hiding like he's some kind of promoter, like he got it like that. We already got Sean Porter to expose himself. He tried to lie on Terrence Crawford, and we found out some new shit we never knew. That son of a bitch hadn't even activated the mandatory. She was just sitting there talking about, I'm the WBO mandatory and Terrence Crawford won't fight me. And you got all these Earl Spence fans came up. We never got an apology for that. They came out here. See, he's ducking Terrence Crawford. See, we told you he's ducking. He's ducking Sean Porter. Come to find out, Sean Porter hadn't even signed the paperwork to be the mandatory to push it forward. Talking about he wanted some more goddamn money. So no, man, it's fucking PBC fighters, and Earl Spence is one of the PBC fighters, and Al Haymon is their whole stable that's ducking good fights, man.
Yeah, so I was with Earl Spence Jr., man, until this Terrence Crawford shit started going down, and then his whole kind of, his mood really changed big time. I always thought his sentiments towards not fighting Keith Thurman, I thought that shit was bullshit. But he was putting in some work, so I was with him in that regard. But now at this tenure, man, I just can't support nothing about Homer now, dog. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just gotten ridiculous on his side, man. And I mean, look, I agree, man. The dude, it looked like the dude that kind of started to try to get his life together, and then he fell off the wagon, man. He started to, pick back up on his old habits. But the problem with that is you won't pick back up on your old habits if you just stay fighting. When you be having breaks for a fucking year and a half and all this other kind of shit, then you start doing shit you ain't got no fucking business doing. You got too much time on your hands, man. You understand what I'm saying? This is why Terence Crawford told him, "Hey man, I don't give a fuck what you do, motherfucker. I'm fighting. I'm fighting it by this time, so if I don't make a fight with you, then fuck you. I'm moving on. And then after I fight this guy, then if you still talking about you want to do something, then maybe we can make a fight. And if we can't make one, then fuck you. I'm gonna move on again. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's cool. You understand what I'm saying? I feel him on that, bro. I wouldn't be sitting here waiting on that nigga either. You understand what I'm saying? Because you never know what the fuck he gonna do, especially with the way he been moving lately, bro. It's just unpredictable, and I personally wouldn't want to even be dealing with the nigga, man. You understand what I'm saying? But you know, Terence Crawford, you know, he want that undisputed, man, that 2 weight classes, man. You know what I'm saying? So he chasing legacy, he getting the bag. I mean, I got no complaints when we talk about Bud, man. You dig what I'm saying? But as far as that Shakur shit from earlier, nah, man, really this was the main thing right here, right? You know, we were kind of having a couple of different conversations in reference to Shakur Stevenson and 135 pounds. You know, one was that is the kid overrated, or guys overrating Shakur, versus and can he be good, or can he be the best at 135 pounds? That's kind of what we were speaking on earlier. Obviously, everybody had their picks. Some people think it'll be kind of one of those 4 Kings situation where all these guys end up beating one another, right? Obviously, Zone says Zone has Tank coming out the division. You have Tank coming out the division. A man from Baltimore got Tank coming out of the division. I got Shakur coming out of the division. You understand what I'm saying? Because for the simple facts of stylistically, I like the way the kid fights. To me, he's a complete fighter all around. He's one of those guys. A lot of people like to critique him as far as his power and the pop shot kind of guy, but Shakur is one of those guys who does pop shots, but he's not doing it on his bicycle. You know what I mean? He's methodical. He has great punch placement while he's doing this, as well as being defensive while he's getting these things accomplished. You understand what I'm saying? He changes levels well. I think his IQ is pretty good. And for me, you know, I'm a guy that likes the sweet science. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, everybody likes stoppages. I just think that Shakur, if anybody can make Tank Davis miss for 12 rounds, I think it would be Shakur Stevenson. I don't think Shakur has trouble with anybody in the division outside of Tank. And that's because Tank power is just so fucking devastating, man. It's just a once in a generation kind of power, especially, you know, at the lower weight classes. You understand what I'm saying? We've never seen anything like this. At least I haven't. Let me speak for myself. But yeah, I got Shakur outboxing Tank Davis 12 rounds, and I got him outboxing Devin Haney. I got him outboxing all of these guys, man. I just like his fight style and his ability, man. And you know, he's new to the division, so he's got to establish himself, obviously. But we'll see, man. In a round robin, I got him coming out on top.
All right, man. You know what I think? This is why I don't believe in triangle theories, man. Because science, the sweet science is a funny thing. Like, for instance, if you take Tank Davis, Shakur Stevenson, and Devin Haney, I think that if Devin Haney was to meet Shakur Stevenson, I would favor Shakur Stevenson to beat Devin Haney because of their styles, and I'm going to break it down for you. Now, if Tank Davis was to fight Shakur Stevenson, I would favor Tank Davis to win that fight easier. He'd have a better chance with Shakur Stevenson than he would have with Devin Haney, even though I believe that Shakur Stevenson would beat Devin Haney. And that's what I mean when I say I don't utilize triangle theories, because in my opinion, looking at these fights, I noticed that Shakur Stevenson is a little bit more aggressive than Devin Haney. He fights more on his front foot, whereas Devin Haney, he's going to try to win the fight off of a distance. He doesn't throw his he's not as active and as busy as Shakur Stevenson. So he's not going to give Tank Davis, who likes to counter, as much opportunities. He's going to utilize his footwork a little bit more, not give him too much chances to counter. He's going to utilize the jab a lot more. He's a tall guy, so he's going to pop that jab out there, kind of stay away from Tank. Where Shakur Stevenson is going to stand his ground more. He's going to be a little bit more active. He's going to try to counter over Tank some. Tank will try to come up under Shakur Stevenson too. But the thing about it is he's going to leave Tank more opportunities to get in there and to get on the inside with his power. So I would say that at some point, Tank Davis will catch up with Shakur Stevenson because I think he's stronger than all of them. So I would favor Tank Davis to beat Shakur Stevenson. I'm not sure about Devin Haney because Devin Haney's going to make it a boring fight. He's going to hold when Tank gets on the inside. He's going to continue to stay on his back foot, and he's not going to give Tank any opportunities to counter. So that's why the triangle theories and shit don't work for me. The science works different depending on who the fighters are.
Yeah, nah, I'm with you, man. I think that's a good breakdown. I do think Shakur would give Tank more opportunities because of the way he fights, right? And I do agree that Devin would try to keep Tank at distance. You know what I mean? I agree with that. I'm just hedging my bets with the ability for him to miss versus Tank's ability to hit him. That's why I'm going with Shakur. But nah, that's a good breakdown though. Yeah, that's what makes it intriguing because I mean the numbers, the styles itself suggest that without a doubt, right? Because Shakur is more active and more on the front foot and more offensive than Devin is when we talk about an array of punches in a single round. So yeah, nah, I mean I don't have a problem with that. I think he will give him more opportunities without a doubt, for sure. I like that breakdown.
Okay, so listen, Big Hill, just to let you know, we're gonna get your recap, your opinion on 135 and what you think, and then we're gonna let you give your take on why Earl Spence is not being ducked. Let me say this. One thing I say that's a secret weapon for Tank about his outboxing style. You gotta remember the king of that shit right there is with that nigga. Now, unless we're gonna suggest that Mayweather's gonna be a hater and not show this man nothing about that style, Devin Haney and Shakur is a branch from the bloodline. They're his children. They are Floyd Mayweather's children. They're not twins, obviously, but they're different cuts from that cloth. And if you think Floyd Mayweather ain't gonna contribute to breaking that type of shit down, that's the part right there that I feel confident about that people are not really speaking on. Floyd,
that's a great point.
Floyd is very invested in Tank, and he damn near be in the corner. Like Tank, when Tank see Floyd, I don't know why he does this. He just love Floyd, but when he see Floyd don't came to the arena, he started looking, man, like you so disrespectful. You ain't gonna pay attention to your trainer. You did get it.
That's a bro. It's like the kid that always just wants the approval from his dad, bro. That's how he be in the corner when Floyd pull up.
That shit is crazy. I'm talking about the corner is talking to him, and he look at it be so obvious. And then, even when we fight, he be like, "What say, Floyd?" So that right there is what's going to stamp the outboxing type style. Floyd now me he gonna execute it, but Floyd gives me that extra confidence, and I think that's a point overlooked. Big Hill, what you got, man? You say we ain't on Earl. I ain't gonna say that because I already said Earl Spence is a bitch ass nigga. You can give us your take on 135 and or Earl Spence, however you want to do it. Big Hill, you got the flow, man. Because Hill got scared because he said it's too many of us on here hating on Earl Spence. So, he be on Facebook talking all the shit.
Nah, I ain't hating on Earl. I'm just speaking what it is that he's doing. Like I said, I was rocking with him up until the Terrence Crawford situation. You know what I'm saying? But I can't follow him. I can't follow him right now.
You sound muffled. It sound like Terrence Crawford got you by your neck.
Boy, stop it. Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, we get in now. Okay.
All right, man. Hey, so check this out, man.
Oh, it sound like Terrence Crawford got you by your neck again, man. I don't know if you moving
Yeah,
around.
man, what's going on? It's like it's dragging.
Yeah. You finna start talking that bullshit, Florida boy.
Now you good? Go ahead, just cook. We can hear it, but go ahead.
Oh man, that Florida boy, man, he don't want to talk, man.
Hey, man, check this out. Hey, hold on.
Oh man.
All right.
Damn, he must be over in Webster, Florida, or Lake Penn or something. Shit.
I thought that nigga out when Bud come around.
Them Gators
What is going on with my mic?
Gators chasing them around.
Hey, what's going on with my mic?
Nah, bro, you good. We can hear you, bro. Just cook.
All right, hey, check this out, man. Check this out, bro. Y'all here. Hey, check this out. Y'all boys on here talking to all this crap about Earl Spence, man. Now I know that man right?
Man, Phil, you lied to this guy. I can't hear shit he talking about.
What?
I can't hear nothing.
Man, I'm about to leave and come back in.
Yeah, you do that, man. You sound like you got peanut butter in your mouth, man. I don't know what the fuck you talking about. That ain't eating a peanut butter sandwich.
Hey. Here we go again. Earl got into an accident. Because of his own accident. So what the look? He got into an accident. The man is okay.
Say Wilder got busted for weed. Is that true? Somebody said something that he got jammed up with having caught with some weed or some shit or some shit. Deontay Wilder. That might have been somebody bullshitting. Yeah, so yeah, he was struggling. He got to get his shit together. I just want to see what he gonna say about this Earl Spence defense. Smoke don't ran away because he like Earl Spence and all that.
We spent like what 5 minutes on Earl Spence. Hey, as soon as you say Earl Spence's name, boy, come out. They come out.
Man, you've been holding down Crawford. You the one been talking about Crawford since Gamboa forever. You that's your guy. You said I still got Thurman.
Let me tell you something. When I seen Terrence Crawford versus Breeders Prescott, that's all I need to see. I seen the skill level when I seen that fight. I seen it. And I told everybody that man was going to put some hands on a lot of people. And that's what he doing.
Big Hill, you back? You got your microphone together? All right. Well, anyway, but Earl Spence, yeah, man, I just don't understand. I never believed in him.
Proper booty, man.
Oh, go ahead. What you say? You got the flow? Man, see these guys want to talk all this shit on Facebook around their friends. Then when you get them on live, the equipment don't work. All of a sudden, man.
Hey, what are you funny as hell, man?
Man, they listen to you live. Your equipment don't work all of a sudden.
Hey, man, I'm doing this shit off my phone, man. That's why.
Nah, man. Okay, go ahead. Let's see what you got. What you want to say about Earl Spence, man?
Man, Terrence Crawford trash, man. I can't believe y'all sitting on half this. All this shit driving. What the fuck is going on?
Got your Bluetooth on. You probably got all kind of shit, man. Get your shit together, man. What you doing? Are you in the car? Yeah, man. See, he trying.
Hey, look, this is my thing, Zone. When you come on here and you say somebody is trash, and you talking about we hating on Earl Spence, your first statement was that Terrence Crawford is trash. So now, if you cannot recognize what the man has accomplished, okay, you may say I don't like how he fight. I don't like the fighting style. I don't like the people he fought. I don't like how he negotiated his fights. Okay, you can say that. But if you're going to open up your statement with the man is trash after all the stuff the man accomplished, then you are the real hater, not us.
Well, I'm going to let you get with him, B-Talk. You know what I'm saying? But he can't get his shit together. So we're going to go ahead and just leave him where he at. See, Big Hill think this basketball. He be over there arguing with them about LeBron James and Jordan all day and shit on the Facebook. But he think he know a little something about boxing, so I told him to come on in and kick it with us. But anyway, man, yo, we gonna go ahead and close it down. We at 3 hours, man. I appreciate you for jumping in, Blood. Blood, you got any closing remarks, man? Anything you want to say? Anything you want to speak on?
No, man, I'm good, bro. I appreciate you for having me, man. I just came in late, man. I would have came early. I didn't know you was on.
Yeah. I'm kind of doing
Blood,
it.
Blood. We need to get you on these telephone calls, Blood. We have some real good telephone calls.
Shit, could give me a call and pull me in, man. Shit.
All right, man. That's the OG method, man. What you got before we close it down, man?
Hey, salute to everybody on the panel. I appreciate you having me on. Man, that nigga Earl, man, that's a bluffing ass nigga, man. Hell, man, he thought the panel I was gonna cook his ass, but yeah, man, that nigga Earl don't want no smoke, man. We're still waiting, man. It's been about 5-6 years now. Nothing shaking yet, but we're still waiting on that guy, man. We're still waiting.
Okay, hold on. Let's get one more shot, man. Hill, you got the feel. You back in here again now. Oh man, Hill don't want to talk about that, man.
Hey, what's up, man? Can y'all hear me?
Okay, you clear right now, little Charlie.
All right, man. Check this out, man. Listen, man.
Hey, Zone, I'm gonna tell you what. You got him on Facebook or something, man. Get that dude number so we can get behind the closed doors, man. We ain't gotta worry about no equipment, nothing like that, man. Let's get this dude behind closed doors.
Hey, B-Talk, you want to put his head on the platter, huh?
Hey, because look, y'all can sit back and just listen to a classic. Cause they're gonna
you gonna get him straight, okay?
Hey, that boy B Talk trying to Robert stalk that boy, man. What's wrong with him?
Hey, you sure you want that, man? You sure?
Man, I want that work.
I'm okay. We'll get off. I'll make the call right there. He on the line. Hey, look, man. We got to do this overtime behind the scenes, man. Unfortunately, you guys can't come because he fucked up. But we going to go ahead and we going to be out, man. Blood, we good, man. Here, we finna call you. B-Talk, appreciate you for stopping by, Big Phil Walker. All the people in the comment section, man, I greatly appreciate you guys for the support. We're going to keep it consistent and keep it flowing and stuff like that. We're going to take a couple of days off to give everybody a break. I greatly appreciate y'all, man. And I greatly appreciate Blood for the support and the respect and love that he always extends as the OG of the community. All right, man. That's all I got, man. Zone 6, I'm out.